Right, so we're all online finally. Good. So in 3 minutes we start the show. Really quick, like we said earlier, let me mute some people out here, and there's some people that don't need to hear what we're saying, I guess. For the most part, guys, Shannon and Michael, for the most part, one person talk at a time. You know how that whole thing goes. We're gonna do the show a little bit different this time. It's not gonna be the same layout as it has been. I'm just gonna let everything flow and just let everything go as it should be. I got into some books and got through the whole Kabbalah this week, and just letting the energy just do its thing, man, is where we really want to go with. And I feel like the more that I prepare for it, sometimes can take away from what we really want to come out every now and again. So.
You gotta let the chaos be what it is.
No doubt. So anyway, formally introduce you guys. Is that Ajin or Ajin? I know I've said it twice since we've been on the phone.
Right. How the fuck you pronounce his name, dog? I hate the butcher shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who that, Shannon?
Yeah, it's Shannon.
It's Shannon.
What up, my nigga?
It's all good. It's Ajin.
Ajin. Okay. Ajin, this is Shannon Jefferies. You guys, this is the first time you guys ever talked.
Nigga, dog. Wait a minute,
Michael.
I just realized that's my nigga. I just realized that's who the fuck it was. Like, I've been saying his name and shit. Nigga, what up, man?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm chilling, man.
My nigga. All right.
Michael?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah, you good.
I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm going to be a spectator at this show. I'm going to sit on the sidelines and clap.
What we're gonna go into first is decalcifying the pineal gland. I got just a few things on it. You guys can put in everything you want, and then we're just really gonna let Ajin go.
No problem.
So I mean, Shannon, can y'all hear me clear?
I can hear you.
I hear you clear, man. Y'all breaking up a little bit, but I'm about to move. Y'all good? Cause it's thunderstorming out here where I'm at and shit.
Yeah, it just passed me. Just passed me. I got a tree down in front of my house and knocked my Wi-Fi out like an hour or so ago. It's not cool.
Yeah, it's going over where I'm at too. But Shannon, did you want to get into what the pineal gland is and what it does real quick, and then we kind of just go from there, and then we can get into the Goetia.
No problem. Y'all want me to launch on that shit right now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna launch on it. I'm gonna start the show here in a minute, and I have.
I thought we was already on.
No, not yet. I do an introduction and everything, and then you'll know when we get recorded. So give me just a minute here, everybody. I'll do our introduction, and we'll get started here in right.
Oh, so I'm just talking to Shannon while you're doing that. Yo.
Oh no, it's gonna start recording. So if you guys talk, it'll pick up on it.
Yo, Shannon. Shannon.
Okay. Well, I guess the show has been recording the whole time. So anyhow, tonight we're going to discuss. Tonight we discuss the pineal gland decalcifying, and we're also gonna get into our special guest tonight, Ajin Jones. We got my man Shannon over in the Detroit area. We got Michael sitting over in the Bay Area. I'm Gene. This is the natural order of everything. How you guys doing tonight?
Hello? What's happening?
I'm okay. The show has been really irritating, so I'm going to be doing a lot of chopping and blocking later. I'm going to do a lot of editing on the show. But either way, this has been a highly, highly, highly anticipated show that we've wanted to do here. Brother Michael brought this to our attention a while ago. Actually, last time we ended the show, I think the first text he sent me was wanting to get you on the show. And I'm really excited, man. I've been really heated about it here for the last couple days. Shannon, how you doing, man? Shannon? Man, we done lost Shannon.
Shannon MIA.
It happens. Michael, how you doing, Mike?
Oh man, I'm here ready to get to it. Talking about a couple of my favorite subjects, but I'm doing good. And yourself?
Real good. I had a great week. Everything went really good up until a little while ago, but I'm not going to let it affect us or the energy that's going on this evening. We're getting ready to put some real good stuff out there. Our guest comes from New York. This guy, Ajin Jones. I've spoken with him. He meets us on the level. It's always a pleasure, a deep pleasure, to talk to another brother that I find and meet on the same understandings that I have as far as Masonry goes. Ajin, go ahead, man. How you doing tonight, man?
Oh, I didn't know you traveled light.
Me? Definitely, definitely. I can seal from the 102 in Charlotte, Michigan.
Oh, okay. I'm heard 251. That's what's up. I didn't even know.
Yeah, we'll be having both Facebook sometime. It's easy to get things mixed up. But either rate, man, it's a pleasure to have you here with us tonight, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with us to go over what I've been told is your expertise as far as the Goetia goes. First things off, we're gonna start off on the pineal gland. I got a little bit of research. I know Michael's got a wealth of information on it, but I'd like to start off with the let me see. We're gonna do some tips and tricks tonight on decalcifying the pineal gland. And Ajin, if you have anything that you want to add to this, man, feel free, because I know that you work a lot with it, especially, and any of your knowledge would just be just as helpful as possible.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain herbs and everything that you can use to decalcify it, but I guess the question is, like, do most people do you know or do you understand what the pineal gland is?
Well, what I did some research, and I got a bunch of books that I read into. Something I pulled up today says the pineal gland is produces serotonin and melatonin. They're neurotransmitters which regulate waking and sleeping, and also plays a huge role in your mood from day to day. The pineal also produces DMT, a chemical called dimethyltryptamine, which is another neurotransmitter, which creates a natural psychedelic state of consciousness. The little gland plays a huge role in the psychological well-being and a huge key in our full potential and development along I would say, our occult studies.
So,
That's
I
what I
mean,
pulled up.
in short, the pineal gland is just a gland in your brain, and in the general sense, it's just really just your gateway between the cosmos and here down on Earth, right?
Right.
So, when you're receiving spiritual transmissions or whatever, your pineal gland is that generator or that battery that brings those thought forms down to you so you can carry them out here on Earth.
Can I say something real quick?
Please, absolutely.
Okay, I just want to say, Agent had said briefly, he said there's a ton of herbs you can take to decalcify your pineal. What I want to say real quick is I want to give a tip for anybody that can't afford or don't know what to go get and not sure what to get. Uh, you can always hum with your tongue on the roof of your mouth, but kind of push it back a little bit. Try to reach the soft palate, not the top part with the ridges, but back a little bit. You can hum. But the thing about the pineal is, uh, it operates the pine. Okay, we gave you some technical information. The pineal also regulates your circadian rhythms, which is your day and night. It responds to total darkness. So the things you can do without the herbs and supplements help. I'm not saying don't use it, but if you don't have it, if you want to start working without it, complete darkness. Whether you sit in a dark room, whether you get yourself a sleep mask, that also helps the pineal. Another thing you can use for your pineal is the active imagination and visualization. That's going to help to decalcify too. I know a while back when I really focused on my pineal, I had a set meditation routine where I would focus. I had an image of what my pineal looked like. It could be whatever for anybody. It could be a fluffy bunny. Mine was a little orb, kind of egg shaped, and it had ridges in it. And I would just focus on it, and I would power it up every day. And using visualization, imagination, I would have beams of light hit it from 4 different directions. And the way meditation goes, once you establish a routine and you go back to it daily, eventually it's going to kick in. The you that's imagining is going to take a back seat. And I can say for myself that at one point, my pineal exploded with light. I saw the rings, like the rings around Saturn. The rings expanded, then they started to rotate in different directions. So I just want to say to anybody that hasn't actively focused on decalcifying, and a lot of people, just because you post on Facebook or because you read hella raw shit, that don't mean your shit ain't calcified. And it's a thin layer. Calcification is like bone, but it's not bone. It's a thin layer. The pineal is actually anterior. It's behind and on top of your pituitary. The two work in tandem. So it's okay to visualize both too. But I just wanted to say that in terms of, because I didn't bring out, I don't have my my anatomy book. And I got a couple other good ones where I didn't think to bring it out where I could say some of the actual herbs and stuff that you can use. But that's something that a simple Google search, and you'll pull up all the information you need in terms of herbs that you can do. But in terms of meditative practices, it's darkness, you can hum, and visualization. I just want to add that. And the pineal is considered a masculine gland. The pituitary is considered a feminine gland. So you can even envision a male and a female. I mean, however, whatever works for the individual. But I know for me, I worked so hard trying all these different techniques and topics that I Google, and there's some real simple stuff you can do, especially using your imagination.
Dope,
Yeah,
man.
that's
That's
actually,
cool. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, that's good information, Mike. No, because I actually buy those coloring books, Mike, those little art of mindfulness coloring books, and it takes me about an hour, 2 hours to draw the images, stuff, shit like that. So the visualization is definitely a plus, and using the imagination because you're really trying to exercise your right brain, your creative side of you. You're kind of trying to step out of that whole logical mindset, especially when you're approaching dealing with specific spirits, especially when you're pulling down thought from the pineal.
I today did actually came across this article on the pineal, because I knew we were going to be getting into it this evening, and they actually gave a list of foods that you could take that would not only alkaline your body, but it would help you to decalcify your pineal gland. One of the first ones was watercress, and that surprised me because I hate watercress. So it's no surprise that that would actually be something that would really help you out. Anything coconut related. I didn't know this, but apparently 100% coconut water mimics plasma in your blood, and you can actually use coconut water as plasma in certain situations. I mean, you wouldn't want to averagely, but if you were in a third world country and that's all they had, you could sustain right off of it. Avocados, bananas are supposed to be really good, both of those, to help decalcify. Any kind of berry, most berries are high in alkalinicity. I think I said that right. Alkalinity.
I mean, if you really want some good herbs, I just say highlight the name.
On the herb pack.
Herb pack for
Hello.
sure. Herb pack
Yeah, I was
for sure.
gonna get to that at the end because I was gonna get.
Man. Pan got the herb packs for the pineal gland. Them shits
Herb
work.
Yeah,
pack.
yeah, I like the herb pack a whole bunch.
Pan
You
the
know
plug.
what's surprising is pineapples, man. I love pineapple a whole bunch. And they say pineapples is supposed to be one of the best. And they say how you could tell is if you look at the outside of a pineapple, it's a bunch of pentagrams all over it. And I mean, I have pineapple around the house all the time. And I happened to look at a picture, man. I was like, damn. It's I don't know. It was just trippy for me to see that. Like, okay, it do has like little pentagrams all over it, and no wonder it would be one of the number one fruits to really, really help you with decalcifying the pineal gland. But the herb pack, for me, it took me a while to get the herb pack to get me going. First couple times I used it through meditation. I think I was searching for something to happen instead of just letting things happen on its own. But then when I got used to using the herb pack with meditation, it really, really, really started to, help me out a whole bunch.
Herb pack, the truth. I put herb pack in my smoothies, dog. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
Straight up.
You there, Shannon?
Huh?
Shannon, I think his connection's real bad because he's got a storm out there. But I think, Shannon, can you hear me? No, but he's logged in right now. So as soon as his connection gets straight, he'll be able to talk. I got him unmuted. But you put the herb pack right in the smoothie.
Straight up. I don't know what pack you put in there, but that shit worked.
You know what though? I actually experimented making my own herb packs. I had some real good success. Wasn't as good as the official herb pack, but what I will do tomorrow, I dig through my notes and I'll post the stuff that I use. I know that the sacred blue lotus, it's a powder or peel. You can get the blue lotus. Blue lotus is one of the few things I know that I found out that if you smoke, at the time I was smoking weed heavy, you can actually, if you get it in the peel form, you can break that blue lotus down and mix it. There's a few others that just help with decalcifying. If you can't afford an herb pack or if you want to do your own, I will post that tomorrow. But I can just testify for myself that when I had my herb pack, see, Gene, you said you had a few hiccups. For me, when I fired up my first herb pack, I ain't gonna lie. I had questions, and I knew that nigga Panic wasn't gonna answer them. I had questions because I was getting all kinds of shit from the
right.
people. I know it's up to the individual, but the main thing is, like you said, Gene, you got to look for you got to be able to recognize your own experience. Because for me, it might have been dancing pink elephants. For you, for somebody else, it might be something different. Usually, when you think nothing's happening, something is happening. You're just not looking for what is happening. And that's the only thing. So that's why I always suggest picking you an image of your pineal and you work with it daily. If it's hard, not hard. We just live these lives, but 24 hours don't seem enough. But if you set down the time, I never say 10 minutes, but if you can give it 20 to 30 minutes a day to get you an image, because when I went in, I had no idea what to expect. I'll be honest with you. The image that I used for my pineal came from that movie, the Time movie, where they redid it with Patrice Lumumba, where the dude, he was back in the Middle Ages, like the 1500s, not the 1500s, like the 1800s, and he went back in time with the Morlocks.
Time machine?
And time machine. So I used the crystal lens on his time machine as my pineal. That was the image I used. That little crystal is what I fired up. But I know that this is something that ain't specific. You can pick an image, and whatever it is, you just work with that image, and you tell yourself that's my pineal. Because the bottom line is your mind cannot separate imagination from what we call reality. So if you focus on something enough, I'll be honest too. Panic had that real simple meditation technique of the apple. I did the apple a lot. I did it a lot where you envision the apple. I would get up out my bed, walk to the kitchen in my mind, go to the kitchen, dig to the refrigerator, pull out the apple, rinse it off, smell it, lick it, listen to it, take a big bite, let it run down my chin, and that little things like that, because your mind doesn't separate what we call reality from what it sees, because the pineal was in complete darkness. It sees nothing. Like in the Mahabharata, blind Dhritarashtra. Blind Dhritarashtra and his wife was the pineal and the pituitary gland. The thing about that little allegory, that little mythology, is that Dhritarashtra, he was born blind. I forget his wife's name, but she chose to be blind along with him. And if you look at anatomy, you get that Grey's Anatomy or any anatomy book, the pineal develops before the pituitary. So I always took that little part of mythology as your pineal and pituitary. Zoroaster was born blind because your mind sees nothing. It gets images fed to the mind that's interpreted to a data stream, and you say that's a clown, that's a bunny, that's a tree. So that's the other thing. When you read mythology, you got to search out for these things because maybe that's something you resonate with. And the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, those resonated with me, so I focused on those tough, and it helped me to get a better idea with my because in there it refers to the Dhritarashtra as being evil, and that's going back to, you can tie it into Osiris and Set. Set, which is the pineal gland, he's viewed as evil,
Right.
but you know what I'm saying? What's really evil? But I just want to drop that real quick. I don't want to step on no toes, but I just want to drop that just for those who might be curious and who haven't. And even if you are working, it never hurt to focus on your pineal because it's about elevating your game. Wherever you at, if you're not elevating, you on a plateau.
Yeah, I think a lot of my problem was that you, Shannon.
Yeah, man. Shit, man. I've been working on this shit for like 25 damn minutes trying to get on this shit, dog. Shit.
Hey, your efforts are not wasted at all, brother. I'm happy to have you on here.
Hey, I had to
Michael,
had to straight up channel some Darth Vader fucking Sith Lord willpower shit, dog. I was in here meditating, looking at him and shit, dog. Damn.
I think the panic pack for me at the time too, Michael, because at the time I was smoking a lot more weed, and I think it probably was really hard. Now I cut back on it a whole bunch, and it's been like a process.
Well, I tell you this, when I started fucking with the pack, I had to stop smoking weed because
that's what I'm finding out right now.
Yeah, because the weed was agitating my mind too much, and I couldn't calm shit down, so I had to stop. It actually made me stop. The panic pack made me stop smoking weed. That's the funny shit.
And
I was get more lucid and more and better dreams and shit like that.
Real shit. The weed dream. You can go astro off weed like a motherfucker, but it's gonna shut down your dream, and your dream is the actual communications that you want. So hey, it's crazy to hear both of you say it because that was the same conclusion I came to, and when I stopped smoking, because I'm saying to myself, hold up, I'm having these bomb meditations and these bomb astral projections, but I don't even remember a fucking dream. And I know it was the weed shutting it down.
Yeah. See, but weed helped me with my visualization meditations at first. So I would smoke, and then, like I told you guys before, like I would have the opportunity to meditate by myself, as long as I really wanted to. And if I, smoked right before then for my visualization, because I meditate, with my eyes open, in complete darkness, that would be amazing. But to a point, I started getting out of that and then started getting into the, different kind of meditations and stuff. And I noticed that with the weed affects the hippocampus. And you really want that as clear as possible, especially when you're trying to channel or do any kind of spiritual work. So it was something that I had to learn on my own, because if you ask somebody, man, you would be so pulled left and right, because, weed is such a sensitive topic as it is. But a lot of people would say that a lot of people would say on one side that they couldn't, be spiritual without it. Then a lot of other people that I'm finding out saying, you know what, it was cool when it would help me in the beginning, but now I'm finding that it really kind of holds you back a little bit.
You know what?
Shannon, where you at, man?
What up? I had to take care of some stuff with the kids real quick, man. I'm right back, dog. I've been listening for a minute. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Michael.
I just want to say real quick. I push the Bible a lot. A lot of people don't like that because everybody hates Jesus right now. But the thing I'm saying is, the thing I always try to point out is that the Bible is in the document. And I say a cult because it's hidden to the average motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And the Bible even say it though. All things in moderation. It's okay to smoke a little tree every now and then, get you in that zone. But to overdo anything is too much.
Indulgence is an M or effer. You got that right. What were you saying, Shannon?
Nah, like my simple pineal gland technique that I use to just enhance it, man. Like I tell everybody, man, I work with magnetism. You know what I'm saying? I meditate, I sleep with magnetism directly on my third eye. And I always been like real good at using visualizations. Cause like, I constantly send out images in my head and I can vividly see it as if it's, you know what I'm saying, as if it's physical. You know what I'm saying? Like, could I always maintain a childlike mindset, playing with my action figures with my daughters or whatever, or just giving myself into whatever they doing in their world. But one thing that I always did though was use magnetism. Like when I go to sleep, just meditate on the image of the pineal where it's placed in your head, like how Michael was talking about the anatomy. And I'm telling you, man, the meditations, I just go directly into it. And I use it a lot in my, like, you know what I'm saying, when I go to work, you know what I'm saying, like you said, walking meditations, I can do shit like that. But I always just, the main thing I use to open it up is visualizations and magnetism. Because I don't smoke. Everybody know I never really was a smoker. Never really smoked weed. But one thing one thing I do use a lot though is, you know what I'm saying, the shit that Panic recommended was that Tiger Balm. That shit works.
Oh, you put the Tiger Balm on the third eye?
But I put it right there, and it's something with the smell, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I go straight into some shit. Like when I use it with my visualizations, I look at it as y'all familiar with Cerebro from Professor X, that shit he be using to tap in telepathically with all mutants on the planet. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That's exactly that's my intention when I use the Tiger Balm or when I use my magnets. It's directly that. It's like I tap into the morphogenetic field of the entire planet or the collective consciousness or whatever. And I can just go in, anybody I'm thinking about, I can just go into their subconscious mind, see what they thinking. At least that's how I visualize it. You know what I'm saying? I wake up with and I get quantum, I don't know, DNA upgrades, but I constantly every day, it's like I'm going within my subconscious mind using my magnetism and I'm upgrading every day. So like if how I am right now, I'm like 10 times more advanced as I was, you know what I'm saying, a week ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly trying to upgrade myself because that's my intention when I use this shit. And it worked. Like you said, using your imagination and your willpower and confidence in what you're doing that's my main catalyst on how I do my work with the pineal. That shit work like a motherfucker. And Michael brought that shit up to me before.
We lost him.
Damn.
Well, give him a second to see if he can get back in here.
Man.
There he is. He's back.
Okay.
You there, Shannon?
Nah, this shit. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, yeah, what the fuck I was saying, but the other hotel. I work with this so much. So every day, that's where I embody. So like, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the pineal and just manipulating everybody with mind control and shit like that, I mean, I don't know how to not do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to not activate that shit. It became so effortless for me to do it. So like, but like I said, the main thing for me is magnetism, bro, man. That shit is a motherfucker.
Do you think that magnetism would help you in the process of decalcifying the pineal gland? I mean, can you put those two together?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing that I use to decalcify my pineal gland was reprogramming my subconscious mind. I went straight to that. Like whatever I thought that was affecting me or my connection with everything, I reprogrammed everything the way I thought about life in general. Any weaknesses, all that shit, all my fucking self-inventory on myself, I went and reversed and changed all of that shit. I'm still doing that shit. So that opened me up just to knowingness of me being able to do that and getting the results of my intention where I talk to a person, where I walk somewhere, or how I want somebody to see a different color I'm wearing, a sigil I'm wearing. Once I got that connection, it was a wrap for me. Like that's when I knew for me the aha moment that I got. Like, oh damn, this shit really is serious shit. And I'm telling you, man, it was sky's the limit from that point on. That's why I never not fuck with magnetism. I always got them on me. You know what I'm saying? I never leave the house without them. They always on me. I'll rock with a magnetic chain around my neck. Like, nigga, I've been doing this shit for years.
Hey, you put me on magnets. You put in the jewelry that I make jewelry with magnets because you put me up on magnets. I definitely have noticed a difference with them, and different people have too. People that I've sold them to, they've come at me. One guy, he had got a case of Bell palsy. It's kind of like a muscle.
I know what that shit is.
Okay, so it hit him out of nowhere, and I ended up making him a magnetic bracelet out of that and some my hematite. And he says that he feels relief. Now I don't know if he's telling me that to be nice or not, but the fact of the matter is he's using it, and he has nothing to do with this kind of information. But for him to say that he's finding some kind of release from it will just further let me know that, okay, there's got to be something with this. You know what I'm saying?
You know the saying, your mind makes it real. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Knowing that shit, I'm telling you. But the imagination is the most powerful technology in existence, period, for me. So, like, I'm under, like, when I use this shit, I'm always under the self-hypnosis that I put myself under and being able to accomplish whatever it is I set my intent to. You see what I'm saying? Like, I go to school with binaural beats, and I listen to the subconscious programming on a plethora of different type of shit. And one of them specifically is my psychic connection and my, like, you know what I'm saying, my influence on my surroundings, who I talk to, the way I talk, my, you know what I'm saying, my language, my walk, my posture, all of that shit is included with the subconscious reprogramming shit I be going through every night when I go to sleep. So when I wake up, it's like I'm under the self-hypnosis or whatever programming I listened to prior that night, and it goes straight into my subconscious mind, and it worked. You see what I'm saying? And it's amplified. I use the magnets and the magnetism as a conduit to produce, you know what I'm saying, having more effect on what I'm thinking, on what my intent is. And I'm telling you, man, it's mind-boggling, bro. But it worked.
So I have a question for all three of you. For a person that has nothing to know, for a person coming into this that has no idea about decalcifying anything, how would you express to them exactly? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, is decalcifying your pineal gland, is it based on diet, or is it based on exercises with the pineal gland, or is it a mixture of both? For someone that has no idea at all, could you explain that for a beginner?
Me personally, I think all of them included has a role to play with that. You know what I'm saying? It has for me. Like I ain't ate pork since like 98. You know what I'm saying? But it's whatever you convince yourself is gonna help you decalcify, though. That's what I realized. If, like, me personally, I reprogram my water. And I said I can write some shit down on, you know what I'm saying, under, like, on a sheet of paper, and place a bottle of water on this shit. And I'm speaking to the water that whatever it is I want. Say I want you to decalcify my pineal gland and make my spiritual connection with nature 100% magnified or whatever. Set that shit on the water. I leave it for like 13 minutes, because I always work with a number 13. Come back on that shit and drink that water and convince myself, because the mind makes it real, of what the intent I wrote down on the water. It got the message, and it worked, and it do it. So that's some shit I can use just off water alone. You see what I'm saying? But you can use anything to convince yourself of what, you know what I'm saying, what it is, the effect that you're trying to have. So I say all that shit included is a way for you to decalcify your pineal gland. You see what I'm saying?
What would you say? So you wouldn't say either or is more effective. It's just a mixture.
You can mix them all.
Yeah, what was that? I believe is going.
It's whether or not you believe in what you're actually doing is working. Your mind is making it.
Yep. So I guess, well, when they say that the pineal is calcified, do they mean calcified like the same calcium that one would have on their teeth that has to get, grinded off? Or is it like a metaphor?
Put it this way: your windows is foggy, my nigga.
Okay.
I like
that. Okay, I like that a lot too. See, what I'm doing is I want, if anyone's to ever listen to this that has no idea about anything from a basic level, these are questions that I have, and these are questions that other people have had, so I wanted to try my best to try to get the most broad perspective on it. But no, I like what you said, the windows being foggy.
Foggy windows.
That's a great analogy.
That is a great analogy. Michael.
On a very technical level, what Ajin just said is ultimate truth. It's just a foggy lens. But on a technical level, when they say calcification, no, it's not bone, but it is a thin white layer. It's like a cast. It's something, but it's flaky. I don't know if you guys saw Ghost in the Shell, the new movie, not new, but the recent movie Ghost in the Shell.
Sure.
In the very beginning of the movie, when Scarlett Johansson, when she was getting brought into that vehicle, when she raised up to that little white stuff, and then it came off her body in flakes. That's the best image of decalcifying your pineal. It's like flakes. That's why you can hum and shake it off. So it's not like you got bone and you got to beat it up. But I'll be honest, I used to take the Hindu deities. I used to take Ganesha and Shiva with all the arms, and I would have them doing all kind of shit, beating up my pineal. Whatever you can envision, but it's not bone. It's not that tough. But it's something that you give it enough attention. You wipe that window off, get you some Windex and wipe that window off, and you're gonna see, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone.
That's awesome. That's hilarious. I like that. Cool, man. Cool. Well, at this point in the show, I think we're going to jump right into the topic of this evening, and that would be the Goetia. I have very limited knowledge of the Goetia. I've definitely read a little bit about it, but I haven't done a lot of studying. So I myself am extremely excited about this. I know especially Michael is. Michael, we've been talking throughout the week and going back and forth. I know he's been looking forward. This will probably be his most favorite show out of the year. So, Ajin, with no further ado, man, the floor is yours. How would you definitely explain the Goetia in your words?
So, in so many words, the Goetia are nothing but particular energy signatures that's on your pineal gland, and there's supposed to be 72 of them. Right now, so far as the system itself, it comes out of a 15th century grimoire that Aleister Crowley and MacGregor Mathers bit off of, right?
Mm-hmm.
The dude they bit off was he was a French guy by the name of Johann Weider. The name of the book was called The False Monarchy of Demons, right? And you can find all this on Wikipedia or whatever, right? He was inspired by something earlier called the Office of Spirits.
Hey, Ajin, hold that thought for 1 second. Michael, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just muted. I'm talking to my wife.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I unmuted you. My bad. I didn't know. I thought you jumped out.
No, I'm listening.
Okay, sorry. I apologize, Ajin. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. So what you're talking about as far as the system, you're talking about a form of European shamanism coming out of the Renaissance area. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the type of climate where all this shit was coming out of, right? So that's why when you read up on a lot of the spirits of the Goetia, a lot of them have titles like Duke, Count, Duchess, Marquise, President, etc., right? So, but basically what these are we'll call them chakras on your pineal. Whereas you could put any of them, or you could put any thought form pertaining to that particular energy signature down, right? So when you'll read something that says like the demon Byung helps find hidden treasures or something like that. What that's really trying to say is that faculty in your brain that increases your brain capacity, you're trying to invoke or raise up to accomplish a particular deed. It's a form of magnetism, like Shannon talks about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have so the Goetia itself is medieval. It's actually taken from a lot of Sufism, and Hermetic alchemy. So a lot of the gods are Egyptian, Babylonian, and the actual concept comes from the Sufi concept of the genie or the jinn.
Really?
Right? And actually in the Quran, Surah 72 is dedicated towards the jinn. It's called Surah al-Jinn. Right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and those are the infernal, in the Persian Islam, I guess you want to call it Islamic portion was their infernal spirits. All right. But basically what it is, it's a hierarchy of hell, these spirits, is as it pertains to the system. In the hell that they're talking about is the pineal gland, right? That's where you get the name Set, Satan, Saturn, all that shit. So each spirit provides a certain, or each demon provides a particular task that they're bound to give you if you invoke them, right? So it's not like the spooked out religious shit. When you hear demons, you think something automatically evil. Evil. What it is, it's really talking about a person's innate abilities or talents. That's why a lot of spirits teach arts and crafts and how to be witty and blah blah blah. So that in general is what the Goetia is.
That's a huge connection for me because I work recently. Not recently. I got a reading here a while ago and told me one of the spirits I should work with was the Arab Sufi spirit. And recently I've gotten some books on it. It was really hard at first because I went and looked up Arab Sufi instead of Sufism. But that connects with me really, really huge. So I'll find some connections with that along my readings then.
Yeah, I mean it's all a form of shamanism. When you're looking at, like, a lot of people attach McGregor Mathers and Crawley to this shit, but they just rehashed the shit back in like the early 1900s. This is some shit that was written in the Renaissance of Europe. Coming out of the Dark Ages, Rome is falling, and now there's just like awakening in Europe of all this new knowledge. So that's where you get like all the plays and shit, like Dante's Inferno. King James is writing, rehashing the Bible around this time. Like, it's all within this time span. So it's but all that shit was bitten off of old Egypt, African shit, old Babylonian, Sumerian shit, all that ancient mystical Sufism stuff. It's like a combination of that. And
The Divine Comedy comes from that
era, that whole Renaissance era.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
Okay. The Renaissance area. Right. Okay. I get you. I thought you were saying
between the 14th and 17th century. This is when all this shit was being written.
Okay. Got you.
Community, all that type of shit.
Oh. All right. Wow. There's a lot of connections in there. Okay. That's cool. So like I said, I had very limited knowledge, but that's cool because the Divine Comedy, man, was one of the greatest books I'd ever read. One of the biggest books that I've ever read in my entire life, and that's Dante's Inferno. And hella cool story. I just thought that you were saying it was connected with something different, but no, I got it. That's cool, man. You got anything, Shannon? You got any questions?
No, I got how I work with this shit. When I be at work and shit, the main demon I invoke is ball. Nigga be balling, you know what I'm saying? My Jim Jones shit. But I listen to a lot of Dipset shit. Nigga, I love that New York shit, so everybody know that hip hop shit. But like,
yeah,
I use the invoke his power of being like invisible and being able to just not be seen and shit. I don't want to be fucked with. I use that shit a lot when I'm at work. Like if a supervisor, somebody want me, if I feel or get the magnetic sense that somebody is like looking for me or some shit, need me for something, nigga, I'll just invoke ball and be like, nigga, I'll telepathically tell that nigga I don't exist or some shit. Then I walk right, nigga, I ain't even see you was right there, nigga. I use that shit to sneak up on motherfuckers, scare people and shit. This would be experimenting with motherfuckers with that shit. But I'm telling you, ball is a motherfucker. Yeah. I fuck with ball hard.
Is ball a cat?
So Shannon know what time it is, right? So the whole purpose is you supposed to be becoming these niggas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when
Yeah.
you read the spirit, and you read what they do and whatever, you supposed to be invoking this shit. You supposed to become this spirit. You know what I mean? So like Shannon was saying, becoming invisible, whatever. Ball fucks with invisibility and shit. So if you don't want nobody fucking with you, you trying to, lay low, you invoke that type of energy. You invoking that, you raising that up in yourself, and you actually becoming that thing. So even, if you want to be witty, they got niggas for that. If you want to hit the boardroom, that's what I do. I need to get witty. I holler at fucking, Samaris and shit, and I'm sounding on more James Bond shit.
Right. That's dope. Hold on 1 second. Where's Michael? Michael, I know Michael had a lot of questions or comments, rather, because, like I said, the stuff I work with, I've been doing, masonry, obviously, but I've been doing a lot of dream work, a lot of astral work over the last years. I haven't really gotten into the spiritual side of it probably over the last year and a half, real strong. The spirits that I work with daily would be like La Santa Muerte. I'd work with my ancestors. But for me, to hear the Goetia and it works with the pineal gland, I know about becoming these deities, and I know about, taking on those forms and not, worshiping them.
Right.
But for me, hearing, the Goetia, because to be honest with you, I know I'd heard Panic talk about it before one of his lectures, but I don't think I've caught a lecture where he actually went in on it. You know what I'm saying?
I can send it to you. He got one, the 72 Goetic demons and how to work with them and shit. He got one. He got a little lecture on about 3 hours. It's pretty good.
Good.
And
he got a book in his. He got a chapter in his book dedicated to the shit too.
Okay.
I might have to get his book.
Yeah,
I might have to get his book.
also. But as far as the sigils and with the Goetia, you can meditate on these things, in your mind and invoke these energies or whatever. What I winded up doing was I fucked with all 72, and I created different sigils for them just because the stuff that was all that stuff that you see on the internet now, too many niggas is hogging the shit. That's why a lot of the sigils don't even look the same anymore. So I had to create a whole pantheon of genie, I guess you want to call them for me. I use them the same way though.
Nah, that's fly as fuck. But Gene, back when I wanted to say, like, when I invoke them, I use it as a form of like how Ajin was talking about, like becoming them and invoking them. But it's like putting on the deific mask, you know what I'm saying, within like the Luciferian mindset type of shit. And like when I invoke them, I become them the same way I use my altar and shit like that with these different deities I fuck with. But just becoming them, bro. You gotta it's like from the ground up, you literally become and invoke this demon. You know what I'm saying? And you will go about your day or whatever task you want to accomplish, and you will have that energy. You will become that energy, and that shit work like a motherfucker. But like I got all of them written down like on little little sticky tabs, and I put them randomly in a jar. And I got what I'm saying, I use the symbolic representation of the jar being like my pineal gland. So like randomly sometimes I went out, you know what I'm saying, to see which demon it is that I'm about to be fucking with. And that's how I do that shit. I keep that shit in the basement, in the dark and shit. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with it. I don't fuck with it often, but I fuck with it enough to know that shit work. And that's some shit you need to be looking into and fucking with.
Would they be compared?
Man, I'm telling you, it's a nice pantheon to get to know and to have.
Yes, it is.
For real.
I want to tag in real quick.
Really quick, Michael. Before you tag, I got one quick question for these guys. Would these things be compared? Would you compare them to the Orwishi?
The Orisha?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the Orisha.
I mean, the concept is. You can call it, whatever you want. The concept is you're trying to become these things. The image is not greater than the mind that created it. All of these things are coming out of your mind. So if you're trying to identify with a particular type of energy, it could be the Orisha, it could be the Goetia, it could be the Palo, it could be Palos, it could be whomever. the whole purpose is, you know, they're all aspects of you. You're supposed to become these things, and they serve you in different ways.
Excellent.
Good
Excellent.
work, man.
Sorry, Michael. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say, like for me, when I tapped into Goetia, first of all, what you got to understand is, and I'm speaking to somebody that hasn't worked with them before, you only tapping into yourself. Every answer you
Yeah.
need, you was born with it. Every answer you need, you were born with it. So whether you invoke or evoke, and that's something, Ajin, I want you to speak specifically on invoke versus evoke. I only invoke. But the
Yeah.
thing is, even if you're having an external, what you feel like is an external conversation, you're only communicating with a portion of yourself that possibly you never before tapped into, or that you're continuing to tap into. And I can say for me, I was telling Ajin earlier that I tapped into Camo. The only Goetia I tapped into was Camo. And at the time, I was heavy in my masonry. And I'm going to be honest, at that time, I didn't care who I talked to. I was talking Freemasonry to them. And what you'll find is, since all these answers are within you, and the thing is, you cannot ask a question that you do not already know the answer to, because every question
Fact.
is the answer in itself. So a lot of times I would tap in with these questions, and I said, I think in our last episode, I was getting at Ganesha about masonry. Man, I can't make it up when I say that Ganesha shot me to Ptah. Like, hey, the shit you want to know, you got to talk to him about it. Now, I'm not saying that I went and physically talked to another. It's just a different aspect of myself, but I got the answers I was looking for. So the thing with these yeah, you can access it through the Orishas. You can access it however. But the thing is, the Goetias represent like a specific pathway. And along the same lines, Ajin, I want you to speak on what invoke versus evoke, but also along the lines of light and dark, because these Goetia are considered dark entities. So, King Solomon, these 72 demons, encased them in a ring, which is the ring around your pineal, and he used them to create his temple. Now, beyond the literal allegory, that temple is just your body and your mind. So the bottom line is, you using these so-called dark entities. We know that there's 12 hours of darkness, 12 hours of light. There's a corresponding light, just like there's a corresponding darkness. So maybe the dark Goetia you're trying to work with ain't hollering. You can easily find a correspondence to get the same information you need, because it's all within you. It's just being aware and knowing when you're being shot somewhere else. And that's why sigils super important. You know, I went through a whole year of just sigils constantly, rewriting sigils, making up my own sigils. But all of these things are direct communications with your subconscious. Subconscious is your personal guide. In the Bible, it said that when Abraham got what I am, what I think I am, he left the city of Ur with his God. It didn't say he left with the God, with his God. He left with his mind. And it's all just little keys let you know. So when you work with the Goetia, in my opinion, like I said, I've only worked with Camo specifically. And Astaroth, there's a few others that I really want to hear Ajin go in on, but I just want to say that these are all aspects of you, of the individual. Now, whether you want some light or dark, a lot of people like, man, they hear the word demon, they shy away. And that's why I always stress etymology. Have you a book of etymology so you can understand these words. Demon ain't nothing but your personal genius. You know what I'm saying? I believe it was Plato or Socrates, whichever one of them motherfuckers took the poison when they was finna kill him. He acknowledged it, man. His demon even told him the jig is up. This is it for you. That's why he took the poison, because all these things come from within you. That's the work you got to do. And the main thing is knowing who trying to holler at you right now. You might want to work with Baal. It might not be happening right then. So you got to figure it out. The thing is, you're getting communications constantly while you woke and while you sleep. You're getting all the signs you need. You gotta tune into that frequency. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
So there's detailed descriptions of all 72 spirits, right? So so far as scholarship is concerned, you should get a copy of the Lesser Key of Solomon. I don't care what version you get, but you should get, because there's a couple different ones floating around, but you should get that. You should also get this book by a dude named James Carlson, who has this book called Kapilhoth and Goetic Magic. Thomas Carlson, I think is his name. I got copies actually, right? And the good thing about that book is, Mike, and you'll probably like this because he talks about the Kaliphoth and the Tree of Life, and he corresponds it to creation. But he also has something in there where he's dealing with the Goetia too, and he has rituals down there, down to the day, to the time, to the several correspondences. To help, which demons to call on which day, et cetera, et cetera. So, that's something that you should pick up also,
Okay.
But eventually you're going to want to have to get this, a book on how to create your own deities, right? Because it's just more personal. And in my opinion, they're a little bit more powerful, right? Because everybody doesn't know. You dig what I'm saying?
I agree with that. So we're gonna eventually have to do a show on like thought forms and servitor spirits, and we create and shit like that too. That's right up.
Because I think it's kind of how we do, we dealing with these spirits, especially with the Goetia, because there's so many of them. It's like you can do so much with them, and it's like I totally have a different name for ball, but I know what ball does.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like he just works for just me. I don't have to worry about somebody else,
Exactly. So you can tailor make that. Right. Make it serve you in a different type of way. It's all kind of varieties to this shit, man. This is some amazing ass shit, man. So I highly recommend anybody into the occult with this shit go into the Goetia, man. And just know, like Michael said, these are your energies. It's a part of you, and it ain't outside of you. You know what I'm saying? It's some shit that every question you got the answer. Just had a confidence and get rid of that religious mindset and that fear and go in on yourself, man. Go into your subconscious mind, unlock that shit that's in it. And that shit work, man. That shit work like a motherfucker.
I want to say something real quick. What Ajin is saying, that's next level shit. Because I can say for a fact that Panic is one of the few that I've heard speak on it. These deities that we all know by name and we know all their characteristics, they're done for. They're over. All they doing right now is holding on for us. They holding on for us to create a whole new pantheon. So the thing about it is creating these deities, working with them, the more attention you give it, where your attention goes, your energy flows. It really, right now, we in the age of Aquarius. We just in the beginning of it. Right now, the work we're doing is establishing whole new pantheons. I got mines too. And I used to drop them every now and then online to the people, but for real, you got to work with them and know them thoroughly on that basis before you even share it with somebody. And tapping in under new names and new characteristics, that's how you get the most power. That's why I like to channel statues. I don't talk to shit. I don't try to talk to Michael Jackson like that. If he come through, he come through. I talk to dinosaurs and shit because I want information so old that it's brand new.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to say that because what Ajin is saying, that's where it's at. Because new pantheons, keeping it real, Jesus Christ, only about 2,000 years old, right? As we reckon time, he already played out. He's already been played out. That's why, for real, when I talk Jesus, I know I'm talking about my heart. I know I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? You gotta relate that way, and you'll find new names. And in meditation with sigils, man, you ask a question, you always get the answer. So if you're looking for something, you'll get a name. I've woken up. I've been in meditation. I've woke up from dreams, and I've seen letters spaced out. Phonically, they don't work. but when you put it down and you work with it, you
Yeah.
know, oh, I just met something. I just tapped
That
into something.
I
Go ahead.
totally agree with that shit. I do the same shit, and I write that shit. I make a sigil out of it, man, and I know exactly what it is. And like you said, you can't. It be some shit you can't say phonetically. You don't even. It's like an alien dead language or some shit. And I'm telling you, the stuff I make with that shit and entities I create, like you said, making your own pantheon. Like I never shared that online. It's mind boggling, bro. Like once I start doing it and seeing the results from it.
Hey, Ajin.
Yeah.
Do I have to cast a circle?
Nah, I don't cast circles, but the circle is really just symbolic of the rings around Saturn. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like you don't have to use them, unless your conscious mind wants to use them. But I don't use the circle. I already know what it is. If you know what it is, you just make it do what it do.
Okay.
And then it's like, because if you want to look at it from, because I know you asked the question about invoke and evoke. Like if you want to evoke, which is like projected spirits, so you like see them in incense or through a lamp, or have it like you want to see a spirit through your five senses, then yeah, the ceremonial part of casting the circle may help your conscious mind, convince your conscious mind that you're actually doing something. But from an invoking standpoint, nah, you can do that shit straight up in your head. The circle is the pineal, you know.
Okay. Now, what about you read these books and they tell you these specific rituals and what they like. This one like peppermint, the other one like chocolate. Uh, do you gotta follow one of these rituals? Do you gotta follow
Yo,
them to the letter?
what do you like? You see what I'm saying? Like I just had this conversation with my man the other day. I'm like, hey, Mike, I fuck with the Apollo shit. And if you see the ingredients that you need to create an Nkisi or spiritual space for a spirit, and you be like, I can't find that shit in 2018. You gotta make that shit, conducive to your environment and make that shit work. Where the fuck I'm gonna find some dead hummingbird hearts in New York City? You know what I mean? For amulet against the law. Like find me some feathers. You'll always find a substitute. So I ain't saying you gotta follow to the letter of the law, but at least you have like a template you can use if it's worth anything.
What about altars? I know you had posted online that you had started your ancestor altar with your Goetic deities. Uh, can you mix them with your ancestors? Break that down for me if you can.
Yeah, so I got sigils, like I got a specific room. So I got sigils, I got an entire wall dedicated for the Goetia, and then right next to them I got an altar, like I got a straight Palo Moyombe altar down here, Prenda and Kissy. I got their firmers up mixing. I mean it works. I mean the only like I kind of go by like feel, like some certain spirits don't like to be next to each other. Like I got something totally separate for Santa Marete and Tiza Marete. She has to be by herself for some strange
Absolutely.
odd reason.
Well, do you know? I mean, it's a wives' tale because she's well, people I talk to about her say because she's a Latina woman. So you know what I'm saying? She's like, hey, I do it on my own. And my mom was Mexican, so I get it. I understand that from a certain aspect. And then you talk to other people, they say other things about it. But I guess whatever it means to you as far as that goes, but she has to be by herself. I've noticed that I get the best results because she's by herself.
Yeah.
I noticed when I had her too close to my ancestral, I had a lot of anxiety for some reason. And I ended up getting, talking to people, getting readings, and they was like, try this, try that. And it was like, we got into altars, and I told them what I was doing. It was like, nope, you might want to separate those. You can have the Arab Sufi with your ancestors, but Satisima has to be by herself. So I was like, I did it, and everything kind of worked out. But I guess they say because the Latinas, man, they're selfish.
I call her a jealous spirit.
Yeah, that too. That too.
I call it jealous as fuck. But yeah, I guess it's whatever. You know the feeling, you know the vibe when you're in your room, what feels right and what doesn't. So that's kind of how I go. So I mix like with the other Palo spirits in the Goetia. I don't have any issues with them. I do keep all my Masonic shit separate though, Mike. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do keep that separate.
You have an altar for your Masonic stuff?
Yeah, I got a bunch of Masonic shit up in here.
That's dope. I never even thought to make my Masonic stuff.
I know you do. I know you do. Let me ask you this. When you read up on the Goetia, you hear how many legions is up under this one, how many legions is up under that. What's the best way to picture what do those legions represent, and what's the best way to envision them in terms of what work that needs to be done?
Well, I mean, as far as leaders, how I kind of look at them is kind of like your goons. So when you become this dude, it's kind of like you just got like these spiritual goons around you, so nobody really fuck with you. But there could be a spirit within those legions that have his own gang of people too. So that's the good thing about the Goetia, because you can make as many spirits as your mind can fathom, right? This particular template has 72. But the legions are like, do you fuck with fairy magic?
Oh, absolutely. My mom was a fairy.
Oh, okay. So I be incorporating a lot of those type of concepts when it comes to dealing, with the legions, the demons, the legions of spirits or whatever. I think Shannon.
I never messed with fairy magic before, bro. I don't know shit about it. I never tapped into that at all.
What, the fairy shit?
Yeah, I hear Panic talk about it a lot. I might have, like, I don't even, like I said, I ain't even really even looked into that shit like that yet. Like, I'm happy you brought that shit up, bro, because I heard him mention that shit a couple days ago, and I'm like, man, I gotta look into that shit and incorporate that shit. So, man, go in on, like, one of your methodologies on that
shit. That'll be your shit too, Shannon, fucking with that shit too, yo. Because you fuck with a lot of
Give me an example, like, I'm about to tapped into that shit by mistake. Is that the shit that you be, them little flickering ass things you see around you and shit, like your halo or some shit? Like, I don't know what the fuck it is I be seeing.
I have zero experience with the fairy magic too. See, I don't know nothing about it at all.
Let me say this. There's a YouTube video about 1 hour and 40 minutes. I'll share the link after we get off. Introduction to fairy magic. No, Gateway to Fairy.
Okay.
Gateway to Fairy. And what you'll find out is the image that we have of fairies is actually off. Fairies fairies don't really have like human qualities. They do now, but in their raw primordial essence, fairies look like trees and twigs and butterflies and shit like that. They're not really anthropomorphized. But Gateway to Fairy, it'll give you all the tools you need, even down to setting you up a fairy garden. But again, it all goes back to your imagination, your visualization, and you making them real. They got kits online. You can go online on Etsy. You can order a fairy kit for your front yard, a garden, and it's gonna be a little mushroom house and some little steps to go to the front door and this and that. And you add to it. And the only thing that make it real is how much attention you give it. But the thing, what I want to say is, I was surprised to hear Ajin say that when he think of legions, he think of fairies. So you mixing those two. And a lot of people think that you can't mix, but it's all you. If your mind say fairies can go with whatever the fuck you want to. It's like putting a panic pack inside your smoothie, right?
Exactly.
That's ill, man. That's some ill shit. Y'all gave me a whole bunch of ideas, man. I appreciate that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn. Like, so when I think of how I think about the legions or whatever, like you said, like Ajin said, like goons, I look at it like, man, I don't know. I got a lot of horror movie shit in my head. So like when I think of like how I work with it, whatever entity I'm working with, it ain't shit but a bunch of monsters, straight up just any that HP Lovecraft shit and that Necronomicon shit. Whatever you can think about like that, it's gonna be a bunch of them big gigantic mist type shit. That's running with me though. So and that's the energy. I gotta be careful where I wear it, but like when I'm at work and shit, man, I use that shit constantly, bro. I don't get no smoke, man. I like none. That shit work like a motherfucker. So that's how I see that shit. But the fairy, I gotta add that shit to it. That's how I live.
I got another question for Ajin.
Yo.
Where do your ancestors fit in when you working with these Goetic demons?
I ain't hear you. I ain't hear you, bro.
But now I was saying, where do your ancestors fit in when you working with these Goetic demons?
See, it's kind of crazy to me. I be talking like for me, I talk to my ancestors like 24/7, like them niggas around, like they just regular people. So like my whole thing with me and how I do with my ancestors is like they never left, you know.
Okay.
So like, and I don't know if that's a product because I knew my great grandmother, you know, she actually lived to long enough for me to be at her funeral and type shit. So I've seen like a lot of my older, like I'm talking about like niggas born in like 1800s die in front of me type shit. So it's like how I look at death and certain shit, like they always, that energy always around. It's like they never left.
Wow.
That's the way I can explain it, bro.
Have you ever actively worked with your ancestors and the Goetia at the same time?
I mean, yeah, there's times I may ask an ancestor a question because a lot of times, you know, I may not be sure if the spirit I'm talking to is authentic, you know. So I may ask an opinion and sit on that. But I don't say I mix them though. Mike?
So when you ask for authenticity, how do you get your answer in different ways or a specific way?
Nah, I get them in different ways, you know, because you know about these counterfeit spirits and shit like that. Because sometimes you might tap into somebody just fucking with you. I don't want to get too much off the subject, but sometimes it just don't feel right. Like like a Goetia may give me a name and I don't think it's him or her, so I kind of gotta just, you know, sit on it and ponder for a second, and I might get, you know, somebody might come in my head like, well, you know, he's official, he's, you know, he's all right, or not.
So do you have like specific days you work with certain ones, or do you just go with your feelings?
Nah, I go with my feelings now. A lot of times when I do invoke Goetia by themselves, I do use the Thomas Carlson template, you know, because it's astrological, so that's pretty accurate. And then those demons to invoke in that particular day, those would be the demons that I fuck with because each day corresponds to a color that corresponds to a specific smell of incense that corresponds to a particular planet. So on that aspect, I do kind of, you know, work, you know, not to the T, but I do use like the basic format for that particular day onto conjure. If I'm answering your question.
We talking about demons, even though everybody on this panel understands the concept of demons. Tell me if you've experienced any. We know that I want to hear the upsides. You spoke on it before because you said you take them to the boardroom with you. But tell me, what's the negatives? How are there any negatives? I mean, outside of counterfeit spirits.
Well, I ain't gonna say there's any negatives, but I mean certain demons you invoke, you do it unconsciously. Like, you know, laziness can be a fucking demon if you're being fucking lazy, and that shit can grow on you if you're not conscious of, you're not handling your life well. You know, it's serving you just like any other, you know, like a nigga that'll make you witty in the boardroom. You know, so you do have to be conscious of your physical actions because you know you're basically creating an entity that's going to get its own consciousness eventually if you're not aware of what you're actually doing. So yeah, laziness, you know, it's not a good thing to some people, right?
Right.
Some people got that
No,
demon laziness on them. As a matter of fact, I think there is a name for that nigga too, and it starts with an H. I think it's Hagael or some shit like that.
Shit. Now tell me this: when you work with these deities, like in the boardroom, do you have do you visualize them being there? I know right now you're probably at a point where you don't got to, but in the beginning, did you actually visualize that specific deity being right there by your side or in the room?
I had the best way I could put it is I had it as if I was that dude, but you know when it comes back to the Legion part, like I felt like all my goons was behind these niggas. Like yo, you gotta say yes. You feel me? It's like you got. I felt like I had a bunch of spiritual goons in the boardroom with me, so they couldn't tell me no.
Okay. I got one more question. Well, I got a bunch more, but I got one more along the same line. Uh, you got a personal favorite, and why?
I have a personal favorite.
Yeah,
Trying to
I
think.
like that. That was a devious ass laugh.
yeah, it was.
Well, I have a personal favorite. Like I fuck with Pay Mine heavy. And the only reason why I fuck with him is because he was the first one I invoked, and he was like mad agreeable. Like shit just worked with this nigga. Um, if you was to see like I guess if you was to visualize him, he's the nigga on the camel. I'm pretty sure you've seen that picture. Like he does, he looks out,
Now, I
and
know that
maybe because he was the first nigga that came through. He came through in the dream.
it's that personal connection. So I know that for me, it's going to be different for everybody. I know that camels, most don't know it, but a camel is just a desert snake because you see the hump on the camel in Hebrew and Arabic. The camel is essentially a serpent. It's Kundalini. So when when he came through, did you have any other associations with him other than him coming through strong? Do you associate him with Kundalini? Do you associate him with getting money? Anything like that?
Actually, he helps me read people, which was pretty cool for me. Like it, you know, I think one of his things is if you was to read him, like he reveals secret things. So it's like you, you invoke him and you have this innate ability to kind of just know people, right? In a general sense, at least based on their body language. I guess the simple way would say he helps you read body language very good.
I know. Once I got deep into my work, I found out that I would be talking to people, and regardless what came out their mouth, I heard a different sub conversation. Is that kind of like what you had? Like somebody be telling you something, and you already cut to the chase, and you know exactly what he really saying. Is
Yeah,
that what
it's
pie
like
mind?
yeah, exactly. It's kind of like it's like their impulse. You can read them based upon their impulse. So as soon as they say what they're going to say, you already knew what they were going to say to shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of come off as a prick a little bit. I guess that's the bat, because they're like, oh, you reading my fucking mind. But it's like,
It's some
nah,
human
it's just
shit.
like, like, cause especially with me, cause I don't be on the line like that. Like, I don't be on the phone like that. Like I'm very low, right? So it's like when I'm around people, like, there's a certain impulse. Like, I have to make sure, like, that I trust you, right? So when
Absolutely.
people approach me, especially in the business that I'm in, it's like, like I need to know who's full of shit and who's not. So I use them often, because that is my place of work. So I use the nigga often. Like It just is what it is.
I want to say this. I know
Really?
talking about when you use the word, you know, our current little language, it's all bad. You know, it's not
Hey, Michael,
It's going in and out.
that's a real bad echo.
wow, what that is. Is it better now?
Let me try something.
Echo
Hold on.
still.
All right, you there, Mike?
I'm here.
I don't know.
Is the echo still there?
Yeah, so I just talk slowly.
Hold on 1 second.
Goddamn TALKSHOE.
Is it better now?
Not really. Shannon, do you have an echo?
Not no more.
I don't have it either. Mike?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's out of us. I think it's out of the system now.
Okay. What I wanted to say was, a lot of people when we talk about these demons, a lot of people hear demon and they get offended, right? Before we get any further, Ajin, can you tie it in to King Solomon? Because he was technically a light worker, but he used 72 demons to construct this temple that we know was the human body. So if you're a light worker, and I'm saying that with quotation marks in the air, can you work with these Goetic demons?
Absolutely. I mean, you Solomon. I mean, cutting to the chase, you Solomon, right?
Yeah.
And all you're doing is you just mastering. It's just a form of mastery itself. You just mastering these energy signatures. You know, you personified them now. So you know the whole concept of that's what the whole concept of the jinn is. You know, you invoke one of these things and they grant you a wish. You know, and they bound to you. You know, these are all aspects of your mind or your pineal gland, and you exercise them and you work with them and you apply them, you know, to your real life. This is an ancient way of I kind of want to call it like an ancient medical book of of just mastering self. Light workers could definitely fuck with this shit.
I think that's what most people missing. Because you hear the word demon, people think of all kind of ugly alien and you know nefarious shit. But
You
the
know what that
bottom
shit
line
is.
is
That's that religion jumping out.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, like the concept of the demon now is so religified that when people hear it, you know, they automatically get turned off by it. That's why I was saying it's important to understand, like with the whole the Goetia grimoire, when this shit was written. Like this shit was written, you know, 14th, 15th century Renaissance Europe. You know, so like all that old African shit they find in, you know, and it, you know, it's the rise of Christianity. So anything pagan was demonic. Anything black was demonic. You know,
There it is. Burning your ass at the stakes immediately
hell
for
fucking
almost
yeah.
anything.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, 3 different spellings of that word, demon. You know what I'm saying? You got D, you got E-I-M-O-N, you got D-A-I-M-O-N. Like I remember reading about it. It's like Michael was talking about, it's different etymologies, different spellings of the word. You know what I'm saying? One of them being like your intellect, your divine intellect being like your demon, your God, your personal God. So I would advise everybody to really research the term and just know that you gotta leave that religious mindset shit at the gate, man. Even if you gotta really know that these attributes of yourself ready for you to unlock. That would be my advice.
Excuse me. I think a lot of times it's hard for people to leave those monotheistic type of, you know, ways. And I wouldn't even say ways, those thought patterns. It's hard not to deify this stuff.
Okay,
You know, a lot of times you find people getting into different spirit work, and then they end up, anytime something happens, you know, it's like you just remix Christianity. You just put a new name and title on it. And then finally, you know, people break away from that, and they finally, you know, get to the point where they're becoming these spirits. It's almost like they gain some spiritual growth, but it's a process, especially when you're raised in Christianity. I was raised Christian Baptist, and I mean, I left it a long time ago. But I can see people now that I talk to that are getting out of it who struggle. I mean, struggle real hard. And even in their regular conversations, still be like, "Oh my gosh," you know, or they think to themselves. You can see it in them when when shit gets real bad. You know, they want to go back to the church. You know what I'm saying? It happens, and a lot of people get spooked out of this shit too. They can't, you know, they don't deal with this stuff accordingly.
It's mind control. Their mind been programmed. So now they gotta unlearn everything they learned and reprogram themselves. You know, it takes time. It takes years for some people.
It does. It really does. Ajin, are you open to speaking about masonry?
Yeah, I mean, I'll speak on it. You know.
I guess I should have asked you that before we got on the show, but I can edit this out later if you want me to. But me and Michael were talking here a couple of weeks back, and I've been on my spiritual development for a long time. You know, I left Christianity a long time ago, went with the Hebrew Israelites a long time ago, and a lot of bullshit, and now I'm here. But I became a Mason probably about almost close to about 2 years ago. After I became a Master Mason, going through the third degree, did you, in your opinion, notice any difference in your spiritual growth in your spiritual development at all? Do you recall anything changing?
Cause when I did it just to know the ceremonial part of it, right? Like I came up under I knew the Masonic shit because during that time about like 90, like the mid 90s, at least up here, like you had 5%, they had all them niggas, and then you had Dr. York, all them niggas had they shit out in Brooklyn. So I started fucking with them and started getting information from them. So, and they used to speak a lot on like Masonic concepts. So how I got into the lodge was my dude Max, he's not here no more. He was like, look, he was like, yo, we just want to learn. We was just doing it to verify that the information that we was reading in the books was actually true, right? And so the only thing that we was really getting was the passwords. We already knew the grits, but was really getting the passwords and the science that's hidden, in the books or whatever, Dude, but as far as the ceremony, like I didn't, that shit didn't change me at all. I'll be honest. I was like, yo, this is it. I was like, oh.
Can I tap in? Let me tap in real quick.
Absolutely.
Okay. When I started on that path, to be honest, I thought that Masons was old white dudes. I didn't know nothing about no black dudes practicing no Freemasonry. And being as intelligent as I was, I always kind of think that I should have known, but I didn't. So it was a brother at a job I was working. We would have these deep conversations about everything, angels, gods, demons, whatever. And I would see his Masonic shit all on his desk. I assumed it was some fraternity shit because he was hella proud of his college fraternity. But I just want to say this. For me, it was different than what Ajin just said. I'm not going to say that it just opened me up and now I was woke. But at the time when I got with it, okay, let me say this. I'm 45 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm old enough to know better, but young enough not to give a fuck. So at the time when I got with it, I literally went back to sleep on purpose a couple times in my lifetime, because on the West Coast, it's not like where y'all at, especially on the East Coast. You know, I had the opportunity to be around 5%ers. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned their knowledge. I read the Circle 7 probably when I was like 20, 21. I read the Circle 7. So for me, I knew this information, but I didn't know how to apply it spiritually. Now, I always say, if anybody want to be a Mason, I would say you gotta be a Mason. No, you don't. Because like I just said, when I went through it, I thought for sure that motherfuckers do something I didn't. My initial reaction was, this is it? That's it? What? I always say that I thought it was gonna be like Pulp Fiction, where they had the briefcase where they open it up and then all the golden lights shine on you. I thought they had a library. I've always been a reader. I thought that it had some shit that everybody else didn't have. And the best thing I got when I told a brother in my lodge, he was a past master, I told him exactly, man, where the books at? He told me, man, you gotta find your own light now, brother. And so I would just say, for me, the missing key I didn't have was ritual. I didn't understand the importance of ritual. Once I went through my initiation, I got passed and raised. I said it before on one of our previous shows. One of the first things I did was I invoked Baron Samedi during a lodge meeting. Invocation.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
And the shit blew my mind away. But and the reason why I invoked Baron Samedi specifically, because he's a 32nd degree Grand Master Mason. You can do your own research and you'll find it easy. And he's in charge of all Masonic voodoo spirits. So I invoked him. I saw legions upon legions upon legions, and I got the gnosis I was looking for. So for me, it was the understanding of ritual. And I would say to anybody, you don't got to join a lodge, because all this shit is online. You can Google it. You can get the Masonic ritual. You can get it for yourself. As a matter of fact, I done spoke to people who was in the process of researching Freemasonry, and I couldn't tell that they wasn't raised in a regularly constituted lodge of Master Masons. So I always put this out there that for me, it helped me get over that one last hurdle. But for the average person, hell motherfucking no. No, you don't gotta join a lodge. But there is some goodness in there, especially in terms of understanding ritual, because I would go to my Masonic meetings and let me say this. I was an officer of the lodge, so I had duties and responsibilities. I had lines I had to spit, and I was still doing invocations and evocations and doing my shit, which wasn't easy. I'm gonna be honest, which wasn't easy, but you'll learn how to split your attention. But the point I'm making is, if somebody like earlier, Ajin said you keep your Masonic on the step. I know for me, once I found out the correspondences to the north, south, east, and west, I call on a whole bunch of different deities in terms of east, west, north, and south, because I spoke earlier about the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita. That's a very Masonic document, very Masonic. If you listen to it, you'll hear which deity is supposed to be in the west, which deity is supposed to be in the east, X, Y, Z. So for me, it helped me to orientate my thought, and it gave me a better understanding of ritual. Now, Donald Tyson has a good book on ritual. I can't think of the name off top, but it's a book about ritual, and that's what a lot of people are missing. In Panic Book, The Occult Origins of Civilization, he breaks down ritual. And the best way to say ritual is, it's a stereotype. It's something you expect to happen. You've been told to happen, and if you do it every day, you'll get a certain, you know what I'm saying, you get a you can expect a very definite result. The thing about these Masonic lodges is the average person that goes to their meetings and go through the ritual, they have no idea what to expect. They get a Kundalini rush just like they in church. So I just say that, like, for me, I pay my dues. I don't go to no lodge meetings, and to be honest, I'm waiting on a few more of them motherfuckers to die before I go back to one of my lodge meetings. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, but real talk. Real talk. Just piggybacking on what Mike said, like it's really dependent upon who your conductor and who's doing the ritual with you, because the rituals in themselves, they beautiful rituals. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta make sure that the people that's actually facilitating it actually take it serious. Like Mike, let me ask you this question: do you think the white Masons take it seriously than the black ones?
They take it way more serious, but they get no results.
Yeah.
They take it way. You know what? One of the things that appalled me about Freemasonry, because I'm a Prince Hall Mason, and one of the things that appalled me was white Masons are allowed to come to our meetings whenever they want. They can pop up, but usually they came to our meetings 2 bus loads deep. But if you want to go to one of their meetings, you got to contact their secretary. You got to get all kind of permissions and XYZ. And that bothered me because I saw it on some human level as it bothered me because I saw it on some human shit. I saw it as, man, this shit, 60s or the 50s. We got to get permissions from these white Masons just to practice masonry. They can come and sit in on my meetings, but I got to get all kind of permissions to sit in on theirs. But once I realized that they searching hard, they're searching very hard. I was at a meeting where some we out here we call them California Masons, and that's just the term for Mason. And they came to one of our meetings, and it was actually a 3rd degree, and I had the part of Jubilee, and when I got a part, if I do a lecture or anything, I put my all into it. So after the meeting, them California Masons had so many questions for me, but one thing that stuck with me was they all asked me, do I know the word? Did you find the hidden word? They wanted to know the secrets. And the thing about it is, ain't nothing secret about Freemasonry. You know, the individual is the secret, and if you don't know it, it's going to remain hidden. So the one thing I say is, and the one thing I learned was in Freemasonry, it's very segregated. It's like back in the 50s and the 30s, keeping it real. Very segregated. And that helped me understand why this country is being ran the way it is, because Freemasonry is in all these high places in the government, and you wonder why, if Freemasonry was so powerful, then why did Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and all them motherfuckers, why did they have slaves, and why did they do the shit they did? If they was practicing it when it written in the ritual, you know, the brotherhood of mankind and all that shit. So I just say I learned a lot personally about how this country is ran. And I want to throw this out there. You can Google it on YouTube. If you ever watch the vice president of this nation be sworn into his office, he's being sworn in as a Mason. He's being given the obligation. So I just realized for myself that the segregation that exists in Freemasonry, that's just why we live in the country that we live in. But no, them white Masons, they practice masonry way harder. Matter of fact, I went to one of their lodges, and they openly discussed that the shit that niggas is scared of. They talk the occult. They do their 5-minute lectures. They do all of the stuff that if you go to a black lodge, you don't see, because they are searching for the word. They searching for it. They don't have it, and they searching for it. And when I was asked, did I find the missing word? I was appalled. I was shocked. What the fuck? I'm the missing. I'm the word. Exactly. I didn't say it to him. I'm secret. I just say that. I just want to just reiterate that masonry ain't for everybody. When Pettit said that Freemasons ain't nothing but Christians with hand signs, man, I laughed so hard for weeks because that's actually the truth. On a very mundane level, this shit is just Christianity, and they just practice a ritual behind Christianity. But if you ask the average Mason, who's the widow, they have no idea. Who's the widow? Every Mason is a widow's son. Who's the fucking widow? Most and if you said it was ice, they're gonna yeah.
Hello, Michael?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, you kind of went out a little bit. My experience with masonry was I'm F and AM. So I in Michigan, we've had Prince Hall, we've had Ancient. I mean, everybody's welcome. You got you got to prove that you're a Mason. But I know at my lodge here in Charlotte, we had the guys from Lansing come in. We didn't go through that, so I don't know. Maybe that's different in California. I'm not sure, but I know when I went to go ask about Prince Hall, they told me that they would prefer for me not to be mixed, and I guess they assumed I was half white. But that was just like for me. I was like, well, cool. I'll just go. I want to be a Mason, so I went free and accepted. And like you said, Michael, it showed me ritual. And at first, like you said, at the end of it, I was like, okay, wow, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, Masonry, the biggest part for me was speaking publicly. I had a big issue with that. And now that I do, I'm an officer now. Being able to speak openly, publicly, helps me out a lot, especially at work. It's something that has really helped me. And that's probably what I found most beneficial out of Masonry. Besides that, the ritual aspect opened me up to ritualistic things because then I knew it wasn't as bad as they said it was. But other than that, I enjoy it. But I haven't had any experiences with that here in Michigan, Michael. Like you said, we got to get with the secretary. But
maybe hey Gene.
Yeah.
I want to say this. Hey Shannon, you still online?
Yeah, I'm still here, fam.
Okay. Don't feel excluded. If
I know.
if it's anything you don't know, just Google it. But I want to say this. I'm actually writing a book on Freemasonry, and I want to say this in direct response to what Gene just said. You said it helped you with speaking publicly, right?
Yeah.
What is your lodge called? What's the color of your lodge called?
The color of my lodge? Blue.
Blue. Now, Ajin, what is blue in terms of the chakras?
Hold up, red. Oh, is that the brow? Is that the throat of the brow?
That's the throat.
The brow.
So let me say
this, right? Blue violet.
That's the throat.
So
let me say this. What most people don't know is the reason why once you get raised to Master Mason, you'll be amazed because you'll start getting accolades at work. People will start listening to you better. The thing is, it's called Blue Lodge because it represents your the third highest chakra. The third degree is your throat chakra, which is the third highest. Now, the reason why in Freemasonry they say the sublime degree, your third degree, is the highest. It's the throat chakra. Now, the human body. Listen to me. I'm gonna drop this real quick. The human body is an embodiment of the chakras and the elements. If you work your way up with the elements from your feet to the knees, that's earth. From the knees to your groin, that is water. From your groin to the heart chakra, that would be water. From the heart chakra to the throat, that's fire. The throat represents air, right? Air is a sign of man. The blue lodge just helps you to articulate and work out your throat chakra. That's why once you get raised, because think about it. When you go through those 3 degrees, you are very vocal. You have to memorize shit that's archaic. You have to say shit that don't make no sense. So you're actually working on your throat chakra, because the Master Mason degree is from the throat up. Now, above your throat, above air, I just listed all 4 elements. Above air is ether. So the pineal and your crown chakra, Sahasrara, that's all ether. From the throat up, from air up, it's all ether. So the reason why when you get raised and you experience these differences, especially in terms of projecting yourself, getting your word across, it's because you are now initiated into the blue line, your throat chakra. And most people don't get it. If you read any book, I'm talking about Mackey, Waite, you read any Masonic document, they'll say, we don't know why it's called the blue lodge. It's called blue because it focuses on your throat chakra. When you open a lodge of Master Masons, it's very verbal, very verbal. Matter of fact, every officer of the lodge has to explain his position in the lodge, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, and then that officer has to do it to the next officer. You know what I'm saying? So the Masonic ritual is actually a chakra story. It's a chakra story, but even though your apron cuts you off from your lower chakras, you know, you subdue those passions, right? But overall, the Masonic ritual is dealing with the throat chakra on up. So when you go into a lodge of Master Masons, you're actually in the astral. Every meeting you go to is conducted in the astral, because the lodge is a representation of your brain, your mind. You know what I'm saying? And you got those 4 directions. North being the place of north, X, Y, Z. So a lot of people go through these rituals and they attend their lodge meetings faithfully, but have no idea. So we talking about chakras and pineal. The 3rd degree, the reason why it's the highest degree you can attain, because how did God create? With the fucking word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was what? God. So when you go to those Master Mason meetings, from the throat chakra up is air, then ether. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And if I'm correct, I'm freestyling, but if I'm correct, air is the sign of man. I believe it, because in the Bible, I stay pushing the Bible because I know motherfuckers don't get it. In the Bible, you got that beast, head of a bull, it got an ox, a bird, a man. You know, it got 4 entities, four terrestrial beings. Man represents air. God created with the word. So that 3rd degree is symbolic of exercising your throat chakra and creating with it. So it's no surprise that once you get raised, you know what? I say this, and I'm gonna get off Masonry. When I got raised, about a year or 2 after I got raised, Tommy from Martin passed away, right? He transitioned. So I actively channeled Tommy. I had awesome results, awesome conversations. And the thing about it all is that I found that I have a very specific Tommy ritual. I post it all the time. People don't pay attention to it. Where I say I'm Tommy from Martin XYZ. But the thing about it is, once you get raised, that the throat chakra is activated. In the lodge, when you get raised, it's all symbolic. It's symbolic. Those 3 degrees don't give you shit. It's symbolic. You gotta raise you. So when you get raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular, it's all symbolic. But if you do the work, you get the results. And my result was, and I got all kind of raises at my job. They sent me from state to state to do shit, but I wasn't fooled by it because I knew that I'd activated my throat chakra, and so a man speaketh, so he becomes. But I just want to say that I'm not pushing Freemasonry because actually I'm not anti-Masonic, but I'm like Ajin. For real, once you get raised, whatever you get is what you get. Them niggas be pushing motherfucking pancake breakfasts and some more shit. So for me, I missed all the human shit. I didn't get caught up in no lodge politics. I did, you know what I'm saying? When I got to meetings and they started arguing about pennies and dollars and what money went to this, I went into meditation and I invoked. So I would say to anybody that's interested in Freemasonry, I would say to anybody, if you join for the right reasons, and when you go there, do work. You know, don't be enthralled by the opening and closing of a lodge of Master Masons. Do your work, because the bottom line is all those people there focused on the ritual, that ain't nothing but energy sitting there waiting to be devoured. And so I would go in, even if I didn't invoke, I would visualize funnels of energy coming into my body. I would suck that shit up, because otherwise I always wondered, where is this energy going? Where is it going? Because motherfuckers is in here working these rituals to the T, memorizing shit, spitting off the top of their head. Where is that energy going? I captured it for myself. You know what I'm saying? And the older motherfuckers in them lodges that's locked into the old ways, they didn't like me. Period. Point blank. You know, and the highest position I held was senior deacon. And I always say deacon ain't nothing but a decan from the astrology. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but a degree of knowledge. And that's why it's called the third degree, because those degrees apply to astrology and the stars. But I don't want to, that's it. That's my last little rant on Freemasonry. But I would just say that to each their own. You might join and be highly disappointed like I was. But in the end, I stepped back because something in me said, join that shit. Something in me said, join it. The next person, you don't gotta join. You can go online, read that shit, meditate, and you get all the gnosis you need.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, I think it's going to get to the point into the show where I'm going to open the lines up so callers can ask questions. If they have any questions, you know, ask them when I call out your number. If you don't, you just want to say, hey, you know, that's cool too. Make sure that your phones are off of mute so that when I call you, you can hear. You guys cool with answering some questions?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, that's so funny. As soon as it's time to answer questions, everybody starts jumping offline. So as soon as it was time to ask questions, it looked like one or two people just jumped off. Let me see here. 1, 2. I know that the 1517 doesn't want to answer questions. So, well, I don't think there's anybody that wants to ask any questions. I think that we only got a couple people in here. So, well,
I got a question. A question. This is at Ajin. It's on Palo Mayombe. I'm about to start making my beads and necklaces. Can you touch on that real quick in terms of working with Palo and what I can expect?
Am I unmuted? Okay, I'm unmuted now. My bad, Mike. So you was asking about the collars?
Yeah, about the Palos.
All right. So you know, it's two books, right? You got the Book Apollo by Baba Raul Carnages, and you got the Montenegro book, right? But anyway, like how I learned the spirits was, you know, each spirit has a, you know, so each spirit has a particular energy color that they correspond to. Can you hear me?
hey,
Okay.
Shannon, do you have any background noise?
A little bit, man. My kids is fucking trying to get up and shit. We good now, though. Little motherfuckers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got you also.
So like, yeah, Mike. So one of the things that I try to do to learn the spirits or whatever is, kind of learn their rituals and what their collars mean and what they represent. And I thought the best way for me to do that was to actually do the beads myself, because each spirit, there's a particular colors that they correspond to, all the way down to the number of beads for each color. So for me, it was almost kind of like a form of meditation to kind of just like get in and kind of just do everything myself. And that way it was kind of more of an intimate relationship that I was having with the spirit while I was getting to learn them, if that makes any sense.
Perfect sense. Let me ask you this. How long did you work with each deity? How long did you work with each deity when making your beads? Did you have a set time, or did you go with your feels?
Well, I was pretty much familiar with most of them. These are the Pantheon is on 11, right? So the difference that I had to figure out before I did the beads was because Montenegro has different names than Baba Raul or whatever. So I had to, correspond the names to make sure that, I was getting each spirit right. But I mean, for each spirit, it probably took me like, to do the beads, it only took me like an hour and a half, to be honest with you. But as far as like, insofar as, just learning the deity, learning the rituals, because some of these rituals is like 7 days and shit like that. Not saying you go 7 days for a ritual, but just learning this shit may take, a few days or two to understand what's going on and why you're actually doing it.
Okay. I got another question.
Yeah.
It's all follow, but it's related. I want to talk sigils. I know you know how to sigil, right? When you do do you how do you just recreate the sigils as you see them? Do you use a ruler, a square, and a compass? What do you use when you make your sigils, and how much time and energy do you put into making sigils?
Now I draw them how I see them. It's usually like like I usually write down an intent. There's like a methodology for it. Write down an intent. Try to be as specific as possible. You take out the double letters or the vowels and shit. And then you create your sigil that way. That's probably the fastest way. Like I don't really sit down with them. I know a lot of the Goetic symbols I know how to do offhand now, right? Which is cool. You know, usually bury them. I usually burn them the most of the time. If you try to do something big, I would say give them some type of life force. So blood always works. Semen.
Or semen.
Yeah.
Or semen. Yep.
I'm throwing these out there, to activate that, bury it, some shit like that. But most of the books, the good book that I got on sigil work was Basic Sigil Work by Phil Cooper. Because there's three ways you can do it. I can't remember right now. I got the book in front of me, but there's one way you can write out. You can write out your intent, create a sigil out of that. You can draw a picture, create a sigil out of that, and then there's a third one I can't remember right now. But the easiest way for me is just writing out the intent and just writing a sigil out of that. But Basic Sigil Magic by Phil Cooper, and there's another sigil book I can't think of right now, but that one's pretty good.
Okay.
You know about The Magician by Phil Cooper. Like that book everybody needs. I think everybody needs that book, because that book goes over that book is all about the subconscious mind. Talk about magnetism, that shit Shannon on. That book, because what niggas don't understand is like the subconscious mind is a magnet.
What was the name of it again?
The Magician by Phil Cooper.
And I want to say real quick, that book is in every group you in. If you in the ATL group, if you in a Goetic Tees, If you don't got it, I do have it, but I'll be honest. I skimmed through it. I need to give it my real attention, but that book is in all the groups. If anybody need it, email me or email Ajin, and you can get it. But that is a good book. It's a good book. Like cyclomancy. It's on the same level as cyclomancy.
It's practical, so you can apply it really quick. It's not all extra deep or whatever, So it's practical. You can apply it. How to create the inner temple in your subconscious mind, what the subconscious mind is. They got 2 chapters on astrology up there, which is really good. How to read your birth chart. Shit like the basic shit that you're gonna need to know. Especially those astrology chapters 8 and 9. I think. Planetary magic. How to learn the nature of the nature of the planet, how to apply that to your body. Opening of the 4 cardinal points. Pentagram ritual. All that shit is in that book.
Can you real quick before we get pressed for time, can you just drop as many books as possible for those who might be interested? Can you drop as many books as possible that you can think of offhand?
Well, I think the 2 Phil Cooper books are necessary. Basic Sigil Magic by Phil Cooper, The Magician by Phil Cooper. I do think that Thomas Carlson book, Kalipov and Goetic Magic is a good one, especially if you're in the Kabbalah and all that shit. There's another book by a dude that I highly recommend for everybody, and I know they don't got PDFs for it, and I know it's about to go out of print. It's called Quantum Voodoo by Reginald T. Crosby.
Man, that book is hard to find. It's hard to find. I gotta buy it, but it's like $90.
Bro, niggas need to get that book. Quantum Voodoo. Like even like the. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say the title. I think it's MD Reginald Crosby or something.
Yeah, Reginald Crosby.
Yeah, I want that. I want that. Now you spoke on Tree of Life, right? Kabbalah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, approach Kabbalah from the wrong direction because Kabbalah is just different spheres of thought. How do you work Kabbalah into your magic?
Well, I really don't even use. I mean, Kabbalah just for me is just Tree of Life and all that. It's just emanations of creation, right? So Kether, or the more etherical, the more etherical part of the world, it just kind of just duplicates itself down into Malkuth. Like I really don't use Kabbalah much. I just use it as a reference for emanations of creation, shit like that. The Sephiroth, but outside of that, I really don't use Kabbalah like that. Kapilov is good, which is the dark side, kind of explains the whole Luciferian thing, the fall of Lucifer, which is cool. Like just the understanding of the mythology of it is cool, but I don't really like apply Kabbalah or Kapilov to practical magic.
Well, I think that is that it for you, Mike? You got any more questions?
Man, hell yeah, but I ain't gonna. Hell yeah, I do. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm gonna be honest. The questions I'm asking, I'm trying to ask these questions for those who don't know. But I was in what you just said. Not really using Kabbalah. I say this. I love Kabbalah, but I'll say this: that the more I got into it, the more it became subconscious. So I don't actively use Kabbalah. Sometimes if what I use Kabbalah for is either a meditation image or I use it as because it's best to go to sleep visualizing something. So I'll put the tree up and I see those different spheres, different planets, and I do that as just to program my subconscious as I drift off to sleep. You got any dream tips? You got any astral tips?
Yo, actually, I was just thinking about what you were saying. Corresponding the planets to the tree of life, and you try to go to sleep with that shit.
Yeah, yeah. I've
That's a
done it
good
so much
idea.
that I've done it. I went to sleep sitting at Tiff-Ref, just sitting Indian style in front of Tiff-Ref, and just I go to sleep like that sometimes. Um, I say I love talking movies. So can you drop some good movies real quick? If somebody want to get some quick gnosis on the Goetia or whatever, you want to drop some movies. I know you big on the anime, but you want to drop some movies or some anime or somebody can watch to get some good gnosis.
I think on the anime tip, and you watch this, Devilman Crybaby is a good one.
Yes.
Devin McCray was shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that one was good. Um, what else? Berserk is good, which is a
Yeah.
trilogy.
Yo,
That's a
that's an
good
old
one.
school anime. That's one of like the graphic ones, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
Berserk is
classic.
that shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
especially
is.
that last one, boy. That
Yeah.
last one, that one was heavy. Um, what else is good? On the movie tip, Ascension is good. That's on Netflix. Uh, oh, here's if Mike, I think you saw this that movie, A Dark Song,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
with,
Oh man.
with the chick
Yeah, that was
that's
dope.
going through the Abraham. She hires the occultist and they go through the ritual in the house or whatever. That's a real
That was
good
dope.
one. That shit is Gnostic.
That,
If you're into
that was a real
Gnosticism,
that one right there, I'll be honest, that was one of those ones where it took you step by step, even in terms of you get the results that your ego was expecting. And then when the ego take a back seat, because at the end of that movie, when those ancestors, you noticed, I don't know if y'all seen it, but at the end of that movie, them ancestors was all looking like pygmies, like aboriginals. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And they drug
yeah.
her ass
What's the name
upstairs.
of that movie?
A Dark Song.
A
Dark
dark
Song.
song. What's the other one where them white boys went to the woods and
Yeah, that's
they
another
ran
good
into
one
that
too. Oh man,
I can't think of the
damn,
name.
that's a good one.
They they went into the woods and they ran into some. It was a Nordic deity. I can't think of the name. I'll find it and I'll post it tomorrow. But that was a real good one too. But a
Was
dark
it called The
song.
Ritual? I think it's called The Ritual.
That's it. The ritual. That was a
Yeah,
real good one.
fuck
But
with that.
uh, I
I have to get
always
the
try to
yeah, I have to find them.
the ritual. I always try to say uh, movies are the new mythology, but with one little caveat. These movies, they not for us. Ritual is for us. The mythology is for us. So a lot of these movies, they put different spins on different mythologies. But Dark Song was about the best I can think of offhand in terms of what to expect, the sacrifices you got to make. You know what I'm saying? And it won't be as dramatic as the movie, or maybe it will depend on the individual. But the anime shit, I gotta be honest, Ajin, you really got me on that path. Uh, what's the one? Sword Guy. Sword Guy.
Your guy's another one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a real good one. A real good one. Sword Guy. And uh, what else I want to add? Cause I got you online. I just want you to spit this shit online. Um, so we got the movies. Um,
yeah.
damn,
Don't sleep
I'm
on the
slipping,
anime
man.
though, cause and I was talking to one of my dudes about it the other day, cause all the ancient occult shit was going east, right? So
Yeah,
most of the advanced shit got to be in Japan. on the
Of
occult
course.
side. And then the fact that they were so cut off from the world up until World War II, like the motherfuckers got some secrets, dog. So
Yeah.
in all they technology, in all they movies, all they anime, they be dropping science straight up.
Yeah. Straight up. I
I
agree
mean,
with
if
you
you
on
was
that.
like a Dragon Ball fan, the whole story of Dragon Ball, Goku's a fallen angel. You know what I'm saying? And he comes here to tear up the earth. You know, if in one aspect, I'm a big anime buff, from old school stuff all the way to recent. And yeah, a lot of times you'll find with anime, they'll get into a bind and then they'll look into themselves and then get the power up, or get the next level that they need, but it's usually them never ever going on an outward aspect. It's usually them having to rely on themselves, whether out of anger or fear. But anime definitely drops science.
Yeah. The Full Metal Alchemist. That's a real good. Not the movie. The movie was some bullshit. But the
Nah,
Full Metal Alchemist.
The anime's got movies too, though. It's 3 movies to that anime.
Yeah. But the Full Metal Alchemist, the anime, the actual
Hmm.
anime, that shit right there. If you watch it, it'll walk you up your chakras. It'll walk you through the tree of life. Um, Yeah, the Full Metal Alchemist was one of those ones too, because I want to drop this real quick too. We talk about the 4 cardinal points, but most people aren't aware of the 4 cardinal points in relation to your body. You know what I'm saying? So north being the top of your head, south being the bottom, genitals and your feet. East, we always talk about the east. East ain't Jerusalem, it's going within. You know what I'm saying? Or you could say east is the front of your body. West is without, it's your back or outside your body on some mundane 3D physical human shit. So a lot of those animes, they help you understand that, because like in Full Metal Alchemist, when he went up north, he was in the cold weather. You see cold. We usually categorize snow and cold with something slowing down, but actually that's the top of your dome. Santa Claus come from the north and hand out gifts. You know, I'm trying to think. George Carey. George Carey has a series of books, Zodiac Cell Salt, and a few others, where he really give you some good gnosis on that north, especially in terms of Santa Claus, because a lot of people look at Santa Claus and of course, the name Santa Claus is an anagram for Satan, but it ties into your pineal gland, because in your brain going down your spine, because nobody really thinks about the fact that if Santa Claus go down a chimney, he's gonna come out pitch black. Spine mixed it with melanin. All these stories they apply to the physical body, to the stars above, astrology and astronomy. So a lot of these shows, especially like I'm saying with Full Metal Alchemist, they real good in terms of if you watch it with the right intention. You can always watch it and see a good movie, you know, a good show. But if you apply it with some gnosis, and that's another thing I want to say real quick is almost everything is Gnostic. I'm not gonna lie. Almost everything is Gnostic. So if somebody's not familiar with Gnosticism, uh, you can read the Dead Sea Scrolls for yourself, or you can go off of somebody like Jacques Locary and his book, The Gnostics, and you can get a better understanding of Gnosticism. And when you watch these shows, what was the anime joint where then people was going into the simulation and it was the little orb and
Yeah, Cancer. I was just looking at it just now. It's called
Zero.
Gant Zero. That shit
Real
is all
good.
about, yeah.
Yeah. Gnosticism, urge. Now, if somebody's not familiar, you can brush up. Jacques Locari's book is about the best in terms of a quick brush up and get you in the game. But those are good series in terms of Gnosticism, because this human life we live in is actually grotesque. It's grotesque. You know what I'm saying? And we got vegans that talk about not eating meat. Vegans is probably some of the most horrible demiurges on the planet. You know what I'm saying? And Gant Zero is a real good one. Yeah, real good one.
You guys, you watched the Magi, the Legends of Sinbad? That was a real good one. That they went into a lot of like Baal and a lot of those Egyptian deities in that one.
Is
And
that the new one on Netflix?
no, let me see. Damn, what's the name of it? Seven Deadly Sins was a really good one too. But this one is it's called Magi, Magi, and it's about a kid, and it's really cool. It talks about the dark light, and it's really deep, but it's hard to explain. You'd have to watch it, but they deal with like these castles, and every time you take over a castle, you get the djinn of the castle, and one of the first djinns this kid gets is Baal, and acquiring Baal's abilities and all his riches, it just starts on the journey of how he continues to grow, and it's a really good one.
Let
Full
me say,
Metal Alchemist. Yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead,
Full Metal Alchemist, isn't that a sigil that he put into his brother's armor in blood?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Now,
like
I'm sorry, Gene, but I like Juice talking about Full Metal Alchemist. You know, the Full Metal Alchemist, the brother that had the sigil that was in the armor. I'm gonna take it back to Tree of Life. The brother in the armor, he was Gebura. He was Gebura. He was that Sephira. The Full Metal Alchemist himself, he was Chesed. And you can find these things just by looking. Chesed, he was missing that one arm. It's little things like that. And it does apply to Kabbalah. And the Full Metal Alchemist was a good story in terms of Gnosticism and Kabbalah, because it was all he worked his way up the tree. And I'll say this: you spoke on the Magi and those castles. Those castles, I bet you it was 7 of them, and they applied to the 7 churches mentioned in Revelations chapter 2, because those 7 churches ain't nothing but your 7 chakras. We started off talking about the pineal gland, which which is actually the 6th church. I forget the name offhand, but in the Bible it talks about these 7 churches, and those 7 churches will correspond to each of your chakras. So I just say that to say we can find gnosis everywhere, even in the dead ass Bible that most people don't get. You can find this gnosis everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Science and the world.
It's there. The Bible, the reason why the Bible throws so many people off, because it's about your body. You know what I'm saying? The stars. In Genesis chapter 1, it says that God put the stars in the heaven as signs. But you talk to the average Christian, they'll say astrology is evil. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these stories, the only story we told is the story about man and woman. That's the only story to be told. Because the actual deity, the actual all, I'm going to Kabbalion now. The all is we can't even fathom the all. We can't. The all is in everything, but we not the all. Even though the all we are a representation of, that don't make us synonymous to it. And when I say the all, I'm not talking about Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, Allah, any deity you can name. Those deities that we can visualize and conceptualize, anything we can envision, it does not encompass the all, because the all is beyond that. And that's what the Kabbalion talks about. The Kabbalion has those 7 principles, right? Each of those principles correspond to the 7 chakras. You know what I'm saying? And that's something else. Hey, Ajin, a while back, I don't know if you remember, but it was this sister online, and she was talking hell of shit about the chakras. And usually, I let none of this shit bother me, because it's human concerns. But she said something that pissed me the fuck off. She was talking about you don't gotta balance chakras to do whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck is you talking about? And then after I got on her game, she said, well, I've never had to work on my chakras. Then shut the fuck up, because other people do. You know what I'm saying? Your chakras, we brought it up in the beginning. Your chakras are spinning wheels. They're vortexes. Some spin clockwise, some spin counterclockwise. That just means that you're drawing energy in and you're expelling energy out. If I'm correct, the solar plexus draws energy in, the heart chakra pushes energy out. Each one spins in a different direction, causes the other one to spin in a different direction, clockwise, counterclockwise. Panic actually has a real good meditation practice with the tiger balm, where you rub it on your third eye, and if you want to draw something into you, you go counterclockwise. If you wait, let me get it right. If you want to draw something in, you go clockwise. If you want to expel something, you go counterclockwise. And the thing about using it is, if your mind is drifting doing meditation, you'll push some good shit out. So a lot of this, especially with the tiger bomb and other little rituals you do, you can use these directions, clockwise, counterclockwise, because in your body are these 7 chakras. Well, it's more than 7, because we just discussed that the pineal has 72 chakras alone.
Right.
72. But you make it easy on yourself and you say 7 plus 2 is 9. So you can work with your chakra, with your pineal gland, and give it 9 different chakras just alone, just your pineal. And these are little tips that I try to give out there, because we hear a lot of this shit, John D, Phil Cooper, you hear all of this shit, and it doesn't sound applicable to self. And that's where numerology comes in, and understanding numbers. You know, you get a big number. I was just tripping that in the Hindu pantheon, there's 333 deities, light and dark. 3 plus 3 plus 3 is a number 9. You know what I'm saying? How many names does Allah have? 72. How many names does, you feel me? No, Yahweh has 72. Allah has 108. You can go on and on and on. So you got to condense these numbers and make it practical. We talking about chakras, 7 churches, and all this shit, but it all comes down to man or one man. You know what I'm saying? And even though I know in Gnosticism, transmuting sexual energy is real big, a lot of that I don't agree with. But still, you can do basic meditations to draw that sperm or ovum up your spine to the pineal, let it marinate. You got the sands in your pineal, those dew crystals. Oh, I want to say this. I want to drop books, because I know a lot of people don't have them. Manly P. Hall has a book, The Occult Anatomy of Man, and Man the Grand.
Great lectures. That's another thing. If you guys get into any Manly P. Hall lectures, any audio books from Manly P. Hall, I highly suggest.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm glad you said that, because you put me up on Rudolf Steiner and you gave me the audio. So Rudolf Steiner's another one. He did a lot of work. When I was deep in my meditations in terms of ancient information, I always went back to Atlantis, and I was searching for more information on Atlantis, and Ajin gave me that good information. He shot me to Rudolf Steiner. So real quick, can you drop some info on Rudolf Steiner? And audio books, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I think the 2 books that's good, that you get on audio or you get the hard copies, is Cosmic Memory, or the other one is called Universe, Earth, and Man. And Bobby Hemmett actually recommended those, and when he was talking about what was going on, because Rudolf Steiner, besides him and Edgar Cayce, I think those are probably the only 2 authors that I could think of that has detailed information with regards to Lemurian and Atlantean information. You know, but Cosmic Memory is definitely a hitter. I think everybody should read that. And then I think another thing that's good, because I know, Mike, you big on the Mahabharata and the Puranas. I think a lot of that stuff Rudolf Steiner's talking about corresponds to that stuff too, the Hindu stuff. So it's definitely a good book for your research or whatever. when it comes to studying, ancient pre-Egypt, I want to say Pangean civilizations.
I'm with that. Hey, Ajin, can you give up some meditation techniques for accessing ancient information?
Like for me, like I do walking meditations.
You said walking meditations.
Yeah, like a walking meditation. Kind of just try to zone myself out because I'm up here in New York, man. It's just fucking loud, So you gotta figure out certain ways when you're on the subway to tune certain things out. But I kind of just get lost in the environment. Um, for back, I guess, lack of a better term, I kind of just get lost in the noise. So to the point where the noise is there, but it doesn't exist.
Fade to the
And I kind of,
background.
yeah, and I kind of just go about my business. But as far as when I'm home, like I have a sacred space where I keep all where I'm able to sit down and just be quiet. But being realistic, we're not in the middle of Tibet. So it's not like I could go outside and sit next to a tree and kind of just meditate. So when I'm home, I got my own little space, I got my own little office where I can sit and be quiet. But when I'm out and about, the walking meditations pretty much help me out, zone everything out.
I want to say this real quick, and I want to ask you another question. But I'm big on Samuel Ayun, and in one of his lectures, he said that anybody that can sit down and focus in the inner city, because in the inner city, like you said, it's all that noise. You got other people's emotions being projected onto you. If you
Yeah,
can actually find that, because you mentioned sacred space, and I don't think a lot of people know what that means. A sacred space is where you just set out a little area for yourself that's sacred and nothing can intrude and you find your own peace. I'll be honest. At my job, at my desk, I have a sacred space. And once I set it up, I'll be honest with you. Motherfuckers don't fuck with me at my desk. When I say fuck with me, I don't mean I'm unconcerned about mundane shit. Don't nobody bring no bullshit to me at my job. When I say
right.
don't fuck with me, if I'm at my desk with all I got Egyptian deities, African deities, I got all kind of shit. And I taped it to my desk. And the point I'm making is you can do it however you choose. If you want to have Baphomet on your desk, you do that. Me personally, I went a little more subliminal. And I noticed that even my supervisors, when they come to my desk, they don't say shit to me. I hear them talking to somebody else. Why does Mike have all those pictures of the brain in his desk? Why does Mike have all those? You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you set up a sacred space. And by sacred space, it's just something that, again, getting back to the 3 hours ago when we was talking, whatever you put your mind into and say is real, that's what's real. So you can set up a sacred space almost anywhere. Now, me, I live usually if I was to step outside, you would hear sirens and gunshots and motherfuckers burning rubber. And I was telling Shannon a few weeks back that when I would meditate and be real quiet, I live by train tracks. I would always hear the fucking train. So I just incorporated that into my meditations to where I hear the trains on the track is Kundalini going up your spine or
Yeah,
going down the spine. You just blend it in. But one of the best things I can say is get in the habit of turning your eyes up into the back of your head. Everybody should have an image of the poltergeist. When that little bitch, she had her eyes all white. Well, if you can Google it, if you Google it, you'll find out in terms of dream interpretations. If you see all whites in somebody's eyes, we now associate that with being possessed. But the actual meaning is you are within. If your eyes are turned backwards, you're focused on the inner you. So what I get in the habit of in meditation, and as I go to sleep, I turn my eyeballs back in. I look up, and you're gonna see little swirls of light. The thing is to play with those images, and also just to hold the image. Most of the times, when I go to sleep, I try to envision a blue sky with the sun in the air, and I'm looking up at the sun. That's how I roll my eyes back. But the bottom line is you're looking within. You know what I'm saying? And I like what you said, Ajin, about just having your sacred space, because what I love and what my wife don't like, my wife hates, is that when I go to sleep, or even if I'm talking to her and I start zoning out, she said all the time, "Why are you rolling your eyes in the back of your head?" It's part of what I do. And so I love the fact that when I'm meditating, I could be in a crowded room, I could be wherever. Once I go into my zone, and that's the second question I want to ask you. Once I go into my zone, I love how all the external sounds start to get muffled, and then I hear silence, because you can do it without earplugs, without going to locking yourself in a room or a cave. But what I want to ask you, what I want to ask you is you you got any tips on how to get into that zone? We talked about weed, about the ups, negatives, and positives. You got any tips on how to get into that zone where you can be in a crowded place? I never heard of walking meditations, but I know I practice it. But can you give some good examples and tips on how to get in that zone and kind of phase out all these external distractions?
Well, at home it's pretty easy. Just play some music, burn some incense. Certain incenses correspond to certain spirits. So that helps bring them around or whatever. And you kind of just learn to relax. But on the outside, it's just kind of just learning how to just filter out all the sounds out. I mean, even if you got some headphones or something, if you want to play like some type of soothing music or anything to kind of like drown out the noise will work. Me personally, like I'm not a, s- I really don't smoke. So when it comes to dreams and things like that, I recommend like don't be all, don't go to sleep high, because your mind is going to be racing and trying to calm itself down. So it's going to be kind of tough to kind of get into a good dream state. Um, Definitely don't drink alcohol either if you're going to sleep, because that's just going to agitate you and you don't want to get too drunk when you black out and you don't remember nothing. Um, but yeah, it's just, just kind of just focus on one thing, drown out the noise, and just kind of just daydream, for lack of a better term, and you'll get into that zone.
I'll say this. You said definitely no alcohol, but I will say this because each is own. What I like to do is um, I've set my internal clock to where usually I wake up about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'll move around a little bit before I go back to sleep if I can, or if I'm able. When I say able, you know, nobody want to go to work, whatever you got to do with alcohol in your breath. But what I will do, because I try to get in that zone. So what I will do, man, I've taken shots at 3, 4 in the morning and went right back to sleep just to get into that zone. And when I say zone, I want to say this too. I can get in that zone without alcohol too. Sometimes what I'll do, especially like on a weekend when I know I don't got to get up and do nothing, when I wake up, I'll set my intentions to go back to sleep and go back to whatever my last dream was. But what I do to get in that zone is everybody know, okay, everybody got a movie that they can watch 1,000 more times. You probably watched it 100 times and you can watch it 1,000 more. So what I do is without alcohol, without weed, without anything, I try to capture that feeling of, how you be like Avatar used to be one of those movies for me. Because I could get in that zone and I could be kind of excited to watch it again. If you can, and I'm speaking to others, not, if you can
Yeah, I'm like
capture
that with
this
Star
feeling,
Wars.
see, I'm a Star Wars nut, and I could tell you stories on. Okay, let me say this real quick. In San Francisco is where George Lucas has his ILM studios, where he does all the where the Lucas Studios does all of the green screen images for all kind of movies, not just Star Wars. Well, I'm a Star Wars nut. Right now, I got my Darth Vader looking at me, right? I'm a Star Wars nut. Well,
I have an in-law that works at the ILM studios. So I go up there on the regular. And one day I was at the studio. They have a Yoda fountain. They got all kind of statues all throughout the building, props, all kind of shit. And I go there so much that the people there know me. Well, one time I was there and I can't say nothing other than I was there. The spirit hit me and said, act like you ain't gonna never come here again. Literally. That's just the communication I got. So after I got the communication, I said to myself, well, what would I do if I was never coming here again? Trust me when I say I did everything in my power to get kicked out that building. And all I heard was, sir, please, sir, don't do that, sir, please, sir. That's all I did. But the point I'm making is they kicked me out the building. They told me, you got to leave, go out. I went outside. I started posing with the statues, climbing up on statues. I was in the zone. Security told me, you got to leave. This is it, sir. You got to go. Well, while I was about 50 yards away from the entrance to the building, and I was pick up my in-law that worked there. So she was coming out the building. I saw somebody in a suit talking to her. Again, my spirit said, they talking about you. But I'll be honest, I didn't want her to get in trouble for the shit I was just doing. So I said, go over there, and own up to your shit. Well, as I got closer, I saw the white dude in the suit. He pulled out something out of his briefcase. Spirit told me, that's for you. So as soon as I got close enough, I said, is that for me? It was a collector's edition of, at that time, these new Star Wars prequels hadn't come out. It was a collector's edition. And he just said, man, you really love this, huh? I told him, I don't love it, I live it. But the bottom line I'm making is you'll find yourself in these positions where that's like a walk-in meditation. And even this day, a couple weekends ago, my family that worked there, she gave me like 2-3 gift bags full of stuff that her co-worker said, give to him. This is for him. And she even said it, why you haven't been up here in a while? So, it's just one of those things where you find yourself in that zone. And I think Bobby Hemming was probably the best that ever said it in terms of listening to your spirit. Spirit tell you to do something. It don't gotta make sense. It don't gotta be.
Yeah, definitely listen to what your spirit tell you. Definitely listen to the spirit. But yeah, I'm not saying don't use alcohol, because I use alcohol. Like certain alcohol corresponds to certain spirits for me. So like with the Goetia, because you fucking with the gin, I got a bottle of Seagram's gin here just for them.
I'm off Seagram's right now. Hey, I'm off Seagram's right now.
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like for the Palos, I mean, it's rum. So it is a rum called Palo that I use. What was that, Mike?
I was just saying, I knew what we was gonna be doing, so I got me some gin, I got me some dark alcohol. Basically, I'm off 3 sisters, right? And I just told myself, I'm finna tap into the gin, and I'm gonna get this dark and light going. Because working with Goetia, it's not all dark work; it's dark and light.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, so the book where you could tap in to the 72 angelic forces, the author name is Damon Brand. Brand, Damon Brand. He has a book called The 72 Magical Angels. Well, but they're basically the polar opposite of the Goetia, right? So if you're working with the dark and the light, you definitely want to, look at that book. It's got some detailed information. Thanks for reminding me about that, Mike. I remember that shit.
Most deaf.
Damon Brand. And now that I'm thinking about it, 72 times 72 is 144. You think that might be the 144 that they're talking about in the Revelation?
You're damn right. Because 144 come back to what number? 9.
9.
Okay. Can I say something real quick? The number 9. You spend 9 months in the womb. Everybody go through 9 different zodiacs before they're born. Now, if you a preemie, if you was born in 5 months, 7 months, you went through 5 zodiacs. You went through 7 zodiacs. That means you're missing 3. Now I'm gonna go Masonic real quick. Those 3 things you're missing, it's like this. You're supposed to spend 9 months in the moon, 3 degrees in the temple. That gives you the full zodiac. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be proud of being a Sagittarius or being a Cancer or being a Taurus, because the thing is to master all 12 of those zodiac. So that 144, it all comes back to I'm just saying that number 9 is significant in that it represents a broken circle. If you imagine the zodiac in a circle of 12 constellations, you're born in 9 months. You're missing 3. The object is to master those missing 3. Now, what I have is a personal ritual for your personal deity. 9 months I was born, first letter from each month, and I made sigils and I came up with a name, and that was my personal deity. That's something anybody can do. And you use those 9 letters that you make into a name to master those missing 3, those missing 3 degrees. Now, you can go through those 3 degrees in Palo, Orisha, Masonry, but the thing is to understand what you're working with and to capture that full zodiac. You know what I'm saying? Actually, 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, I celebrated my birthday as a Libra. I said, fuck that, I'm a Taurus. But I said, I'm a Libra this year. And I did that like what Shannon was saying in terms of, I call it counter perspective. So what I do is if normally you count left to right, I started counting everything right to left. So just in terms of shaking my personal game up, I said, I'm a Libra this year. And my wife, she's a Libra. So she asked me, why you want to be a Libra? I said, because Libra's hella selfish. I want to be hella selfish this year. Just fucking with her. But to be honest, just to be honest, you got those. Manly P. Hall speaks on it. It's a circle with 9 spokes. 9 of those, it's 12 spokes in a circle. 9 of them are covered in a circle. The open part are the 3 degrees or the three constellations that you need to add to make yourself complete. Because Christ, he disciplined those 12 zodiac. So it's just a lot of little things you can do. That what I did in terms of the 9 months you were born, you take from the point of conception to when you were born, you take all those months, you take the first letter out of each month, or however that person might feel. Whatever letters you need, you add it, make a sigil, make a name, and you work with that. And you work with that for the specific purpose of gaining those other 3. Because the name of Yahweh, the demiurge, he only has 72 names. That's 9. 9 months you was in the womb. You missing 3. Actually, you missing 4 because you want to be at 13. Okay. I want to ask a quick question, and I'm gonna shoot it at the whole panel. I know that you're missing those 3 degrees, but yet when Asar was chopped up, he was chopped up into 14 pieces. I've never decoded that understanding. I know 14 is 1 plus 5, 1 plus 4 comes out to 5, 5 being the number of man, or better yet, woman, because the man is a 6-pointed star, woman is the 5-pointed star. Allah, arm, a leg, arm, a head, that's 5 points on the star. The 6th point for the man would be the phallus. I've never came to a complete understanding of Asar being chopped up into 14 pieces, but still, in terms of the zodiac, you was born in 9 months. For a fact, you missing 3. For a fact, and that's just something that I personally work on. And so for me, I took those 9 months. I took the first letter of every month, and I made it into a name, and I actually made it into a deity. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's actually. I'm sorry. I'm taking notes, Mike.
That's what it's all about. It's all about. And I just want to say again, the Manly P. Hall Code Anatomy, and the other one, Man, the Grand Symbol. Those are good books in terms of familiarizing yourself with the different organs in your body and how they apply to occultism. Because now that we're in the age of Aquarius, the knowledge is pouring out like water, but most people don't know what to take a drink of. So for me, it's all anatomy. That's why I love the fact that Ajin, when he talk about Goetia, this ain't nothing spooky. It ain't nothing that's gonna take over your body and gonna be mad at you, or this is peer-to-peer shit. And that's the one thing that in Panic's book, um, he's only talking to people who's on a peer-to-peer relationship with these deities. If you worship Ganesha, knock yourself out. But for me, I know that I've been displeased with almost every deity that I know of. And I always let them know. I always let them know I'm here, and actually it's my job to kill you motherfuckers. I'm gonna take you out. So give me what I need before I take you out. And I think that's a big thing, because these deities that we know of, their time is up. It's up.
Yeah, they old.
And that's why hearing Ajin talk about creating his own deities for the Goetia and working with them, I just know that all that requires is putting in time and putting in work and finding out their new names. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that in life regressions and meditation. Things like that. But the bottom line is, we're here to create something new. We're not here to make up some shit from the 1400s, because we know
exactly.
it was operating off old game even back then. And I'll even say this: I got back on Ancient Aliens. I've been watching Ancient Aliens probably every day. I'm back on it, and what I do is, whenever they say aliens, I tell myself niggas.
Yeah, I do the same thing too.
Now, see,
Every
I
time
say
they say
ancestors, and see, but I get it. I get it.
same thing, but you'll be surprised when you watch these shows. You get new information, and that's what it's all about. And that's why I want to share something I channeled. There's a prehistoric shark. It's called Heliocoprion. It's a shark, mega-sized shark, hella teeth, you know, bigger than a cruise ship, all that shit. Well, when I found out about this shark and how old it was, I accessed it, and initially in meditation, that motherfucker came to me and it ate me up. And so initially, every time I seen it coming for me, I would pop out of meditation. Well, once I got over that feeling, I let that motherfucker devour me, and I can actually say that during my meditations, man, I went to the gut. I was dissolved. I coursed through the veins, and eventually I made my way to the brain, and I got all kinds of downloads. And when we talk about legions, that's why I asked the question about once that once that little prehistoric shark devoured me, it gave me legions. And I'm gonna tell you what the legions look like. They look like venom, but they all had like spider legs on their back. And to this day, I don't do it often no more. This was about 4 years ago. But now it used to be them motherfuckers would escort me home. They would draw, with all the little spider arms. And the point I'm making is that I used to always ask for information so old that it's new. And because we all know ain't nothing new under this sun, this holographic sun, ain't nothing new under it. And I'm searching for something new, even if I got to get a tip from something so old that nobody remember it. And that's all I be on. 'Cause I know that I understand that we need new information. You know what I'm saying? We need new information. We need new names. You know, Shannon.
I think
Shannon's
Shannon long.
with Marberquell. Y'all remember when Shannon was on Marberquell?
Yeah,
Was on
Shannon's been
Facebook.
gone for a while. We've been messaging. I don't think he's going to be back on.
Okay. Well, a while back, Shannon had brought up a quartz named Marberquell. I ain't gonna lie, I meditated on that shit. Marberquell old as shit. Old as shit. Now he was joking. I don't know how serious he was, but I worked with Marberquell. I surely did. You know what I'm saying? She's a dark mother, aspect of Isis. You know what I'm saying? And I worked with her, and she took me back to Atlantis. She surely did. And I watched all kind of games. It was all underground. It was all underground, but it was like not Aztec, but it was. I refer to it as Aztec because all the games was you win, you die, you lose, you die. You know, so I just say that a lot of times we throw things out there and they all channels. But I'm in search of new information. You know, I love Kabbalah. I love Kabbalah because it's so easy to access. But I'm in search of new information.
That's what's up, man.
Kabbalah works.
We're hitting the 3-hour threshold here, and we're gonna get things wrapped up for this evening. We're gonna go through. We got some more people that jumped in on the chat line, so I'm gonna call your number. If you got a question for Michael, myself, or Ajin, go ahead and shoot. I'm unmuting you at area code 510372. You're on the call. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Hi.
Oh, hi. I don't really have any questions. I'm just listening. I tuned in super late. I've probably been online for like 30 minutes. But it's excellent information. I'm enjoying listening to it, thinking about how I'm gonna put some of this stuff into my practice. Especially just starting off with meditating and just trying to get started. My household is super busy, and the way my life is set up is crazy, and I'm trying to find places to meditate and just really get into my business. So, like the walking meditation, having my eyes roll back, all of that stuff is helpful to hear. So.
A lot of times if you have troubles like trying to find quiet spaces, anytime you daydream, that's a good form of meditation too. So, I mean, you can do that while you're driving or, anything. I mean, when you was a kid in class
Mhm.
and the teacher told you stop daydreaming, essentially that's when you were you were meditating right then and there. So they was really telling
Right.
you not to do something that was really naturally and helpful for you at that time. So, I mean, hopefully that helps you out along your journey a
No,
little bit.
it does. Thank you.
Yeah.
And this is my second show listening to it. I'm friends with Michael Bell on Facebook in Panic's group. This is Kelly Cassie, and I really enjoy this show. So I just want to say I'm definitely gonna be listening. So thank
Well, thank
you.
you so much for the support. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Bay Area in the building.
Yee, yee. Kelly, I want to say this to you, Kelly. What I found, I got little kids. Kids. So I go to the park a lot, and
Okay.
everybody knows with the mind of a child, blah blah blah. So I just want to
Right.
say it's weird for a guy to be at a park without kids, but it's okay for a woman. So I say, if you find yourself in need of a sacred space, because you are a walking altar on the real,
Right.
envision that you are a walking altar. So if you ever find yourself with some time, go on walks. I don't know if you got little ones, but whether you do or
Yeah.
not, Oh, see, go to a park, take your kids to a park. You know what? My kids get on me because I take them swimming and I zone out. And my kids say, Daddy, you was meditating, huh, Daddy? Yes, I was. So just find creative ways, even grounding. You might go to a park, pick you a good one though, because in the Bay, it's a lot of shady parks, be homeless people on the trails and shit. But find you a safe, you know it, but find you a space, man, kick your shoes off and rub your toes in the dirt because you're grounding and it's a way for you to be in. And so long as you make it real, it is. And so I just find, like me, I work a lot of hours every day. When I go to work, I use my imagination every chance I get. And I find that it helps me to weave in this life I'm trying to live with the life that I don't want to live no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not I'm not where I want to be, but I gotta feel. Find ways just to weave it in. The walk-in meditation, I love to hear Ajin say it because I never put it that way before.
Me neither.
But it's definitely real. As soon as he said it, I knew exactly what.
Right. Yeah, no, same here. And it's funny you said that. We just went on a walk tonight actually, and I had started just taking them on walks because it's been so hot too. Because I'm in Pittsburgh, so it's real hot out here. So we've been walking towards the evening, and I do feel like I'm getting more into that zone every time I do. You know what I mean? I feel like it's really helping me. And I've been trying to just make sure I come home and later on when the kids are finally asleep, try and at least do some meditation. But I feel like the walking does help me to get there too, though. So yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely.
I'll say this
too.
While you walking, make it a point to look up. Look at the top of the trees. Look at the clouds. We have a tendency to look down. We almost are always looking at our feet. So what I do, especially if you have kids walking, because kids have the ultimate imagination. So I ask my kids, what that tree look like? What does that look like? I get in the zone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
I know you working though. I know you working. You my FB friend. You my FB buddy. I know you working. Just find.
I'm trying out here.
No, don't say that, because trying ain't doing it. Just do it.
Right. I'm doing it. I'm doing the work. Yes.
Cool. You got anything else for us tonight?
No, that's it. I'll be. How often do you guys do the shows?
We try to do it every 2 weeks. We try to every 2 weeks. I'll find you because I'm in the groups too, and I'll get you on the email list, and then I'll get you set up. So every time we have a show, they'll send you an email.
Yes. I'm definitely a friend of the show. I will be tuned in on the next one. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let's see if there's anybody else in here. No, I think that's it. Well, Ajin, it's been a pleasure. You've definitely opened my whole horizon to the Goetia. I'm definitely, while we've been talking, I've been Amazoning a whole bunch of books, and I'm getting ready to put to work here. So, man, it's been an honor and a pleasure talking to you, and definitely hope that we get the chance to conversate with you some more moving forward.
Oh man, thanks for having me, Jim. It's all good, man. Just you got my phone number now, so just give me a holler, stay in touch, man.
Hey, I want to say this.
Most definitely.
Gene had told me some powerful shit offline last week, but I want to tie it in to the fact that I believe in reincarnation. Most people might not, but I do. And I know for a fact, I was telling Agent offline, we was talking on the phone. I know for a fact me and him have agreements before we came here because I dream about people. They make an impact on my consciousness. They help me to expand my consciousness, to think outside the box. And a lot of it requires me to set my ego aside because everybody knows. If you in occultism, you're a knower. So I know. But it always comes across as somebody like Kelly or Gene, because Gene told me something, Gene, you might not know, but when you told me about your dream, it impacted me in ways that helped me to expand my consciousness. And that's the whole point of these conversations. And we talk because Ajin, he in my dream so much that to where if I recognize him in a dream, I'm instantly lucid. If I say, oh, that's Ajin, that's Ajin. Oh, okay. I know I'm dreaming. I'm lucid because I never saw him. I heard his voice for the first time today. But the point I'm making is that we have these agreements. It's all in our head, and not in a bad way, in a good way. So when you vibe with somebody, we all Facebook friends. Man, I set my ego aside and I ask my questions. Ajin, you can testify to the fact that I ask my questions. I don't say that, man. Shit, I'm 45, man. I ain't ask no motherfucking questions. No, I ask my questions. I expect my answers, and they always come around just when you need them. So I would just say that we all made agreements and understood to come back at this time. Social media is our platform. I shoot a lot of jokes, I clown and joke. I'm just searching for information, straight up, and that's what we all here for. So you know, uh, you got a question, ask it. No matter how dumb it might sound, you ask that question. I just personally, I try to ask somebody that I feel knows because, like you said, Gene, you can Google something or you could ask questions and you'll get 1,000 different answers. And what most people don't realize is that the answer to your every question is yes. That's the answer to every question. Am I a goofball? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Am I a God? Yes. Am I a dummy? Yes. Am I depressed? Yes. The answer is yes. So the best thing to do is to tailor your question so you can get the answer you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to say before we get off, Ajin, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. You put in a lot of work. And I want to say too that I appreciate the fact that show the positive side to working with this. You don't gotta be a poor righteous teacher working with this shit. You can be successful. You can live the life you want to live. I appreciate you, especially for being that shining example. I ain't saying that you perfect. You know what I'm saying? I know your shit stank. You know what I'm saying? And when you go shit, you wipe your ass with toilet paper just like I do. But I appreciate the fact that we got examples that we can look to. You know what I'm saying? Especially when working with different deities like the Goetia. Somebody might not have no idea what the fuck a Goetia is, but you can see somebody posting something, and if it resonate with you, you can start working with it. But the bottom line is material success does not determine whether you're a good occultist or not, because money is illusionary. It's all in your mind. You know what I'm saying? You can be wealthy eating government cheese sandwiches every night, and that's in the Kabbalion. We spoke on the Kabbalion earlier, but in the Kabbalion it says that the wealthy, they yearn to have the appetite of the poor. So it's just clarity. It's just where you happen to find yourself on the scale. But I appreciate those that I know for a fact, like Eugene, we got agreements. You know what I'm saying? We got agreements and we agreed to work together, and ain't no ego involved in this. And I sincerely appreciate it.
Oh my,
Ain't
I
no
definitely
doubt.
yeah, you know that. I get all my downloads from you.
Right.
I be giving you the work, like there's more work. I'm like, damn. All right.
That's all it is. Jim, when you hit me with shit, I'll be like, fuck, I got some more homework.
Yeah.
We all got the stuff that we're specifically working on, but when I get those downloads, when I see a post, and I'm gonna be honest, I hit the love button on almost everything I see, but not because I'm in love with that motherfucker. I'm in love with that gnosis that's getting dropped. Because the bottom line, we drop gnosis a lot, I try to say it to anybody that's on this level. The true meaning of gnosis is knowing thyself. So sometimes these people we see on Facebook, they just a mirror and they show us ourselves, whether it's good or bad. And I love the gnosis, even the bad. You know, I want to shout out El Melchizedek. You know, he one of them ones that's gonna ruffle some feathers. He gonna shake some trees and make some leaves fall. You know, he's also somebody, Gene, that I would say in the future should definitely be on this show because his perspective is similar to Ajin's. You know what I'm saying? In that he's working with his gnosis. He know, you know what I'm saying? It's little things like that that even if I don't agree with you, I appreciate that gnosis because it's just a mirror. It's just a mirror. You know what I'm saying? All this shit that's going on right now, even this phone call, it's just happening in my head. It's a projection of what I need, what I want, and what I already know. But I love it. I love it. And I study constantly. I weigh my backpack at work, right? I carry a backpack every day. Got chakra crystals, books. Every now and then I put some statues in it, you know, some little deities. I weighed it at work. That motherfucker weighed 20 pounds. 20 fucking pounds. I carry that shit every day. And even though on most days I go to work, I'm so busy, I don't pull out a single book. I carry it every day. And that's why I was saying to Kelly that you got to remind yourself that you're a walking altar. And what I did personally, I went to the astral. I said eternal flames at all cardinal points. And I just remind myself that, man, I'm a walking fucking altar. You know, my ancestors walk with me. You know what I'm saying? They're not little ghosts and ghouls that's floating around me. They're inside me, in my DNA, in my mind. So, you know, a lot of that stuff, it goes a long way, especially if you're working with Goetia and Goetic demons, and, you know, you might be caught up on some human concerns. The best is to know that just like you got 12 hours of light, you got 12 hours of dark. You know, it ain't 24 hours in a day. It's 12 hours in a day. Just some are light and some are dark. And that's it and that's all.
All right.
I'm there for
that. All right, Michael. Well, it's a pleasure talking with you, brother, as always. I'll get with you here as soon as the show's over with, Mike, to get with you on a few things. And we'll just pick up from next time. Ajin, we'd like to have you back on the show again. Michael, I'll get with you here in a little bit.
All right.
I need that book list.
Oh, you want me to give it to you now, or
you can tell. What I've gotten into the habit of doing is the next day after the show, I try to post a recap so anybody that missed it, they can get the books or whatever. But you don't got to do it tonight. Anytime soon, you hit me with a book list. I'm just gonna post it. But for sure, tomorrow or the day after, by Sunday, I'm gonna post a recap. You got them on hand.
I'll text it to you soon in the morning. As soon as we soon in the morning.
For sure. And that's just for those who might have missed it and want to tap in later. I always try to post the books because Alfred Iduno, he usually comes through with all the PDFs. I ain't gonna lie. One thing I do say, I do, and I want to mention it real quick. Man, I give offerings to the living deities. You know, somebody that's doing something, I PayPal and Cash App on the regular. And not that I'm balling, it might only be $20, but I appreciate the gnosis being dropped. You know, Ajin, he sent me some books, and I was so overwhelmed because I could tell that these were personal books. I made photocopies, sent it right back.
Martha Stewart and Marley Spoon is the meal kit that makes it easy to cook delicious recipes. For a limited time, get 14 free meals with code FRESH at marleyspoon.com. Choose from over 40 recipes every week, from classics to exciting dishes with unique, bold flavors. With high-quality ingredients delivered to your door and ready in 30 minutes, cooking like Martha Stewart has never been easier. Taste the difference with Martha Stewart and Marley Spoon. Get started with 14 free meals using code FRESH at marleyspoon.com. Terms and conditions apply.